What is up, everybody? Welcome to Sandlot Gaming's Dungeons and Dragons Season 2, Episode 4, I believe. Today is the day we start the Tomb of Annihilation module. We just finished up Lost Mine of Endeavor last week. Our DM basically just told us that we finished the tutorial, and the gloves are now coming off in this next module, so there will be no more benefit of the doubt, no more beginner's help, no more computer assistance, if you will. So here we go, rolling into this. I think we're going to pick up down in Baldur's Gate, but we're going to see where we pick up once we sign in here. We will play for about 2.5 hours tonight. We're getting a little late start, but let's jump into the channel and see what is going on.
And roll 4 times.
All right.
We're good?
We're good.
All right. So, welcome to the new season of Flames of Tresendar. For now, working title. We'll see if you guys earn anything new.
Burn an even bigger house down.
I hear there's castles in this.
Whoa! Ludicrous.
I am slow. All right, mine just popped.
Did you guys see what Nick rolled for his hit die? He got 3 crits.
Nice.
I mean, I can't make that, right?
No,
Nice,
that's
man.
No.
And that 2 is going to be your minimum too.
Technically, that 2 should be a 4, so...
Right.
dang.
So it is another +2.
It is a 4.
Yeah.
Well done, man. You are beefy.
I should have been this guy a long time ago. Yeah, so it's plus 32, so I'm at 41 hit points. All right.
Oh, yeah, and in case anyone wasn't reading the Discord, you have the gold, but all the saleable goods that we were thinking we were going to sell at the next big town, they left with Dr. Fat Horse. And we no longer have them, along with many of the enchanted items that he had. So
We're going to hunt down that garage. We're hunting them down.
So we're traveling light.
Yeah. All right, so as you guys might be able to hear from the background, you find yourselves on a ship bound for Baldur's Gate. You're on board the vessel Kelpie's Kiss, which was arranged by Recto. He pulled some strings, got you guys up to Neverwinter, back on board the ship that he was once a crew member of long ago. Captained by Captain Zaldar Floshin. He's taking you guys down to Baldur's Gate, which you are quickly approaching. One of the goals that you do have is you had previously found a letter written by the Black Spider to somebody by the name of Sendra, and so I would say that the general party has decided to seek her out, but certainly interested in hearing Hillard, to your point, what the individual character motivations are. So now would be a good time to share.
Who wants to go first?
Wait,
Now, I'm sorry. Did I miss something? Do we have sort of?
No.
Or?
No. That's not a thing anymore.
Okay.
So, I guess I'll start. First of all, I'll inform the party that in doing some research in the town of Phandalin, I managed to get a little bit more information about Sindra Silverwinter. I want to say her last name is, and
Sylvain.
Okay. So she was in a famous adventuring party formerly associated with the Harpers, and I have a map to her house. A little bit more meta, I will say that Steve, after viewing the vision, he's dedicated to come in and do some adventuring, sure to get gold and to increase his fame, but also as his power as a warlock grows and as he spends more time with Hansi, he finds he's losing a little bit of himself. He's sort of can feel himself getting darker and having more impulse towards destruction and an easy way of doing things. And he's hoping that if he can sort of unlock some of the mysteries of the vision that he was granted at the end of the mines, that it might expose another way for him to get the power and money that he's always wanted to sort of get farther away from his urchin background. Scene.
So anybody else? So for what it's worth, obviously Garad is not with you. And Nick
and is now our deadly enemy. I will shoot him if I ever see him.
And Nick is basically not. So he's pretending Nick isn't here.
So just Recto is grateful to the party for having spent 9 months in Thunder Tree, trying to cleanse it of Jack. No, I know it was only a day, but it was quite the
That
delay.
shithole.
Especially after learning what the Black Spider told us, and what's seeming like an imminent demand that we needed to go take care of something south. He appreciates the party going to help him, but also understands that what the Black Spider said sounds pretty serious, and is on his way to basically go investigate to see what he can do to figure out what exactly is going on.
I guess mine would have to be something in the lines of wanting to see this through, knowing that the next step is in Baldur's Gate. These idiots are probably going to die without me. Not that I particularly care, but, I guess that's probably not great. So I'm just kind of going to try to see this through, and I'm going to try to see if I can find anybody who can tell me anything about this green dragon poison gland I have.
Okay.
Is that like a rash, or
just carrying a gland around?
Zygmundo.
Yeah, so I'm continuing my holy battle against orcs and their defiling of my culture. And as I do that, I'd like to share with the party that no matter how many times I've thrown this rubber chicken overboard, it just keeps coming back. And
with a little squeak.
You could sell tickets to that.
And I've been contemplating ways to monetize it, but I need $100,000.
all your spending money was on Dr. Fat Horse.
That's really it. I've also decided that I'm going to be collecting the weird and the arcane. So I might become a little greedier for these things after the Dr. Fat Horse incident.
Well, the chicken certainly counts as weird and arcane.
Oh yeah,
you're off to a good start.
Oh yes, and I'm enjoying it. By the way, as a complete side note, it sounded familiar to me, but did you find this because you went ahead and looked it up, or did you actually read that whole article about the cursed rubber chicken and the D&D subreddit?
So I mashed up something. I don't remember if it was from the D&D subreddit, but I found a cursed chicken somewhere, so it's probably there, and then basically used that to then cross-reference to find some appropriate naming and thematic lore of why that would be a thing.
It's hilarious. I love it. Thank you.
Also, just jumping back, Recto would like to also hunt down Garad and kill him.
Yeah. So there was talk about putting a bounty on Garad's head. Did that happen before you guys left?
Oh, yes. We can take care of this. We don't need to put our money down in that. We can take care of this.
Steve put a bounty of 50 gold out on him in Finland.
You know what? I won't say.
Just gotta find the broken doors that are all opening a very specific way.
Information leading
to his maiming. There's a lot of clues for how to find him if we just replay all the conversations.
I think we know where Garad probably went, guys.
Yeah.
So if anybody, did anybody else chip in on the Garad bounty?
No.
I have a question. I still have King Gral's crown on me, correct? It is in my inventory. Okay. Yeah. All right. So just checking on that.
As long as you didn't leave it on Dr. Fat Horse to
No, it has been on my person.
Yeah, you're fine. Would you like to hold this rubber chicken?
Only thing scarier than a big bear is a big bear with a crown on its head.
So it sounds like only Hiller's put in the bounty. So it's a 50 gold bounty. So Hiller's.
You know what? Hold on.
features-
I'm checking my bank account here. I'll throw in 25.
Okay.
I'm going to reduce that from my account right now.
All right. So 75 gold bounty on Garad, and Steve should mark off 50 gold from his as well.
I will once I receive any information leading to his capture. Or
Well, I think that if you wanted to put a bounty, you're gonna have to deposit that.
put it in escrow.
Exactly.
Okay.
People don't go just like killing and capturing on credit.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have that kind of reputation yet, Steve.
All right, I'll take it off.
And last bit of housekeeping before we arrive in Baldur's Gate. So you guys had some holdings in Phandalin. Any kind of thoughts, instructions that were left? You had a wordworking shop led by the Goblin Droop. You have an inn, the sleeping giant inn, and you also, of course, there's the namesake manor up on the hill.
You mean the ruins of the manor?
The ruins of the manor.
I think we could probably leave the bar in the keeping of our surly bartendress, right, guys?
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, what are our other options?
Well,
There's a lot of bookkeeping.
Garad
I would hire an accountant.
had a relative that was also working there.
I don't
Like a
want
nephew or
anything having to do with Garad's family involved.
Very well. We'll give it to Grista, I want to say then, for her
Grista, yeah.
management.
And tell her to fire Garad's.
All right, Kelleen Alderleaf
And
is fired. She's back on the farm. Hopefully, Carp.
She's probably thankful
just
for
do a
that. She was
winter.
a bit overworked.
and as far as the woodworking shop, what was the bodyguard's name that would periodically check in on us?
Sildar Hallwinter.
Sildar. Well, just ask Sildar to sort of keep an eye on Droop.
Okay.
If he makes too many bird houses, either throw them out or try to sell them.
Right.
The next time you guys go back to Phandalin, it's just going to be like
That's what I'm worried about. That there's going to be like a Statue of Liberty out of little bird houses.
The whole town, everyone will be living in a
600 feet
house.
high.
All the
Droop
houses
at the top of it.
It's
Hey
glorious.
guys.
Hey, one of your yet to arrive party members might like that.
Maybe.
Also,
I
I
don't
mean,
know,
we
maybe. Who says you guys are getting another party member?
Not.
we have
We never said we were accepting applications. I'm putting that out there.
we're willing to review resumes.
I mean, yeah, you can always submit, but
ZipRecruiter.com. This podcast brought to you by ZipRecruiter.com.
Mara, why don't you do a live read for us?
Hey, are you hiring? ZipRecruiter.com.
Oh, we all listen to too many podcasts.
You can have a qualified candidate in less than 24 hours.
Oh no! Stop it.
All right.
So one of the crewmates of Kelpie's Kiss, shouts out, "Land ho!" It's been a couple of weeks on the coastal seas as you've been going down the Sword Coast, and finally, you're not present, Nick. You're not a thing.
I would just ask the group though: how is the livestock? Because we all know how Roland can get when he doesn't isn't around animals for a while.
So as you guys kind of come into a little bit of a harbor, an inlet to a river, you see a massive bridge, and around that, surrounding that, is the city of Baldur's Gate, which I don't think any of you have ever been to before. So let's see here.
Oh, I did have a quick DM question.
Yep.
The urchin background grants the ability for me to move through cities at twice the normal speed. Would that
Great.
include combat?
No, I don't think that would include combat.
Okay, thank you.
That would be more for like just navigating your way around.
Okay.
Great. All right. So about 2 hours later, you make your way through the channel up the river and pull up and dock at one of the piers within the inner harbor of Baldur's Gate. As you kind of descend down the gangplank onto the pier, Recta, you step aside for a second, have a chance to say goodbye to your former crew members, and then waiting at the bottom of the gangplank for you is a large humanoid bird, which some of you might know is called an arakoa, but is not something that you see further north in the Sword Coast. It's a pretty unusual creature to see along the Sword Coast.
I'd like to gawk at it, being a nature person.
All right, you gawk successfully.
roll to ogle.
Wow, that takes a lot of movement. My headset fell off.
What the crap just happened? Yeah.
What the hell? The bird is very clumsy with its headgear.
So I'll thank the crew. Road said it was good to see him again, and to let us know if there's any way we can repay the favor in the future.
Yeah, Captain Floshin walks up and greets you with a forearm clasp, and mentions that he's glad to hear that you're one with the rest of the broader family now as well.
Nice to be included.
There we go. All right. All right. So
wink,
you guys gather your things from the ship. You say your farewells to your favorite part of the poop deck, and then you head down the gangplank. Giant bird waiting there.
The Flames of Tresendar?
Hi.
Hello. Is he holding a sign? With our...
You are the Flames of Tresendar, yes?
Yeah, that's us. What are you?
You don't understand my name, so just call me Squawk.
Okay, no problem. Nice to meet you.
Follow me. We go to see what is the person that's name that we're seeing?
Sendra.
We're gonna go. I was sent by Sendra to pick you up. Come follow me.
I don't think
I
we
can
were.
almost hear feathers.
I don't think we were expecting anyone. Were we, guys?
No, but Sendra was expecting you, so follow me, and I will take you to see Sendra.
All right. Well, I'm a little suspicious, but I'm for it. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, I got nothing better to do.
Sure.
Could she direct us to some lodgings? I've been throwing up an awful lot for the last couple of weeks.
Ah yes, we do not quite own real estate here yet. A good idea.
Sandra will take care of you. She will take care of you once you have settled in. Right now, we should just go see her, and all accommodations will be taken care of after that.
I grab my bag and follow the bird.
Hey, Squawk, have you had your head checked by a doctor recently? You might have some dandruff or something going on there.
Really? Because your hand looks like it's not normal either, so maybe you should go stop masturbating. And I turn around and keep walking.
Number one, I will never stop doing that.
However damaging it may be.
Number two, not sure how that applies.
As I turn around and walk away, I just grab a fish that's on the deck, but as we're passing the fish merchant, and just start eating it and walk away.
Okay. All right.
I've learned so much.
Fish merchant starts to raise an objection, but then sees that it's a giant bird and decides it's just not worth his time. All right.
I believe they're called mongers, Troy.
The fishmonger.
Sorry.
Is everybody following the bird?
Sure.
Reluctantly.
Bird is the word.
Do you guys all have all of your stuff with you, or do you have, how
I'm pretty lightweight.
How heavy did you guys
Basically
pack?
shoved in my backpack.
Well, most of our worldly possessions were stolen from us. So whatever we were carrying when we went into whatever that shithole town was, I forget its name already.
Thunder Tree.
So forgettable. I mean, I think that's basically all we would have.
Okay. Okay, so the bird who, as you walk, you learn. Well, so Nick, did he happen to share his name with the?
Squawk. He asked
Yeah.
to be referred to as Squawk.
Okay, great. So Squawk leads you through the city streets, up through the lower city, which is more run down, clearly lower rent, right? With a lot of beggars out in the streets, up through one of the broader avenues and through a enormous wall. And as you kind of walk through this guarded doorway into the other side of the city, all of a sudden everything becomes grander, everything becomes larger, nicer. You find yourselves in what they call the upper city. And this is where the merchants live, the noblemen live, and Squawk leads you to a house. It's a enormous, tall house with a kind of a blue tent to it. With large, like oaken carved, intricately carved door at the front of it.
Does the location of the house match what I have on my map as being Cinder's house?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah. So if Steve were to check, it would.
I
it
would
align.
definitely. Steve would definitely check.
Yeah. Good. So as you kind of walk up to the house, as led by Squawk, the doors kind of automatically open, and on top of the on the other side of the door, there's like a uniformed attendant, clearly some sort of professional worker, right? Not a resident, who kind of gestures for you to come in and points towards a enormous grand staircase that as you guys kind of walk in, you see that the entryway, you can look up and you can see up about 4 flights with these enormous balconies circling on either side of this great big grand staircase. And the attendant kind of points towards the stairs and says, Sendra will meet you on the 3rd floor.
Okay. Fancy digs. Steve definitely looks around, sort of eyeing up some of the richer possessions, but then starts to walk up the staircase.
Does this the worker look like somebody who knows how to handle himself?
Not really. He's
It's a butler.
well, yeah, he doesn't at first glance he doesn't look like an adventurer of any sort. He's not armed in any obvious way.
What these servants, like, what are they? Are they like happy to be there, or they look like they're like slaves that have been, give me a sense of, I guess.
So why don't you roll insight on the and we'll specifically look at the attendant. Yeah. So the attendant here, he seems to be probably highly trained. This is, not a job that he would have just fallen into. It's tough to tell what his real feelings are about it, even though you kind of one thing you can tell is that he seems to be almost purposefully masking anything else. It's like he's making a point to be as stoic as possible, to show no emotion, to be almost like almost robotic.
Are there any other people, servants in vision?
There are some folks kind of carrying trays to and from. You see probably 2 to 3 other servants as you walk towards the staircase.
Okay. Can I get a real quick feeling for them? Like, they walk around with a pep in their step, or they kind of like just trying to get the feel for this town and like how things work? Like, are these?
Yeah. No. So you look at the servants, and you an older woman carrying a stack of dishes that look like they were maybe teacups on this platter, and you can see that she looks very tired. She pep, not a lot of pep in the step. No.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'll cautiously head upstairs. I'm very uneven, or kind of. I'm not a fan of big cities being a druid who wants his feet
Let's
in the
go,
grass.
come
so
on.
I'm kind of a
Send her
little on
away.
edge.
Let's go. Come on.
Is there anything about the decor, like any kind of religious leanings or anything that could tell us anything about this person that we're seeing? Maybe what they believe or what they worship or anything like that?
So why don't you go ahead and do perception? Yeah.
Nailed it.
So you look around and you see no direct signals of any particular religious deity, but you see just opulence everywhere, wealth. You see you see a lot of the normal trappings of wealth. You see nice, intricately carved wooden paneling along the walls. You see the cutlery as it passes by on the tray is either gold or brightly polished silver. But you also see kind of attached to some of the walls and hung on the walls. You see really kind of strange artifacts, things that you wouldn't expect a wealthy aristocrat to own. Things that broken shields, and you see a sword still kind of crusted in blood that hasn't been cleaned and polished. You see a number of these kinds of unexpected artifacts that are clearly not just displays of wealth.
Steve assumes that these are mementos of her adventuring career that he has heard about.
Okay, yeah, I'll follow as well, but I'd like to be the kind of the caboose of this train as we head up.
Yeah, I'm back there with him. I would like to.
There's only one caboose rolling.
You're putting me up front?
Man, this big city, the giant bird thing,
Oh yeah, just put
shitting all over the place. No, man.
Put the long range wizardy frail type up at the front of the party. I get it. That's fine.
Just go invisible, turn yourself into eight of you, and run.
So,
yeah, you know what? That's happening. Yeah, I don't give a shit. This is day one. We're playing it cautious. I'm going invisible.
Is it fair to assume that Hansy is A, with me, and 2, invisible this whole time?
Sure.
Okay.
Boom, that just happened. Deal with it.
Okay, so
Does the bird notice that one of us just disappeared?
well, so the bird would notice that. He would also have noticed that the guy chanted something and was making a bunch of motion before.
Come on, Hillers. The bird is the word, okay?
Okay. Get it out of your system now, because we're going to have months of this.
Don't worry, I've already talked to Troy about this, so we're good.
Okay. I tell Squawk, don't mind our friend. He's just a little shy.
That's what happens when he sneezes.
It happens from time to time. Nothing to worry about.
Okay.
Okay. And Steve continues up the stairs.
Okay. So as you guys reach the third floor landing, there's another attendant who looks quite similar to the one that was in the entranceway, and that attendant also wearing a nice crisp uniform, kind of gestures for you to follow him down a hallway.
Follow.
Yep, follow.
So finally, you arrive at what seems like your destination. The attendant waits outside the door, gestures for all of you to go in, and as you kind of you walk in, you see an enormous fireplace. This thing's probably the just the inside of the fireplace is as tall as a man, and the ceilings of this room are 18, 20 feet high. Several large, comfortable chairs set out in front of the fireplace in kind of a sitting room fashion, kind of facing away from you where you are in the door. A large, heavy table with goblets and bottles of wine. The walls are darkly paneled, and they're hung, not with what you might expect, tapestries, but it's actually maps and sea charts along the walls. But you do see below those racks, shelves, cabinets, and those are filled also with just hundreds of rolled up documents, which may be maps. You can't really tell quite what they are from there. And there's only one person in the room that you can besides yourselves and Squawk. Somebody seated in a large, really overstuffed chair facing the fire. There's a heavy blanket draped over that chair, and the person kind of turns and you can kind of the person peeks their head out, but you see that they're wearing an embroidered hood and a silver mask underneath of the hood. And you hear the voice, and you can't really tell whether it's male or female. It says, "Help yourselves to wine and seat yourselves, friends. I hope I may call you that."
I take a bottle of wine and start drinking it.
I'd like to actively just start kind of looking at the map, since I'm not a very social character, and I want to. This would interest me. I want to really start taking in what is going on.
So are you like at the entranceway doing that, or you kind of walk up to the map?
Well, I mean, you said the walls are covered. Am I able to kind of turn to my, say the door's behind me, kind of turn to my whatever direction of the wine and table is, kind of turn there and start on that wall and work. Kind of just what's going on. I want to know what's up in these walls.
So the walls are still a fair ways away from you. So absolutely from where you're standing, you can tell that they are maps. If you want to like try to tell what they're a map of, for instance, that would probably be an investigate check, and from this distance, you'd probably do it with disadvantage.
Okay. How far away are they from the wine table?
If you went to get over to the table to get wine, you'd probably be close enough that it'd be a little bit easier to investigate than just doing it from the doorway.
So can I walk over to that, pour myself a glass of wine, not drink it, but as I'm doing it, kind of just really take in the sort of the largest, most visible map I can see.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an investigate check.
And, oh god, I'm not great at that. Oof.
Okay. You see a map of a very large island. From what little you know of kind of general geography, you believe that it might be the land of Chult to the far south.
Is there anything I would know about this area?
Well, that would be a different check. So why don't you try a history check?
Ooh.
Okay. So you know that what you know of is that Chult's a pretty raw and primal place. It's not terribly civilized. You believe that there's only a few inhabited ports to the island. It's a savage country. Yeah, absolutely. It's been tried. Multiple people have tried to conquer it, and the very dangerous locals, both wildlife and native, have consistently repelled them time and time again.
Is there a reason it's being conquered? Is there anything on it or in it, or?
Well, there's a lot of. Well, it's first of all, it's very large, so it's almost its own continent. It's not some small island, and it is very rich with resources. So, if somebody could take control of it, it would be a pretty powerful place, very defensible. But it's proven to be much harder than expected.
All right, I'd like to kind of just slowly back up as I'm kind of taking that in with everybody else, but I am going to very much not drink the wine at this point.
I drink it for them.
Yeah. Conversely, Steve would go up, snag a bottle, just drink directly out of the bottle, and address the person in the chair.
To
as
be
like,
clear, we never said Steve couldn't get drunk.
Yeah,
said
Steve
Hillers
is gonna
couldn't
get there. Well, and
I'll
I'll give some insight. Steve has read the situation here. We are nobody in this town. We've clearly been anticipated. We are at disadvantage if I think if this person who I suspect is Syndra was going to harm us, that would be well within her power. So might as well make nice for the moment. And in keeping with that, I say. Certainly, it's always better to have friends, and we were coming to find you, but I I am impressed at the resources of the great white spider here. And I wonder how you knew we were coming and why you're interested in meeting with us.
So she looks over at Recto, who's still standing in the doorway, and she says, "I have friends in the Harpers who told me that you'd be coming."
Well, they're a chatty bunch, those Harpers. That's true. We do have news for you. We found some records that suggest something quite terrible is going on here, and our associate pointed us in your direction.
Which associate was that?
What was that guy's name, guys?
The
one that we
black
killed?
spider.
The Blacks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
His
Oh
name
yeah.
was, his real
Right.
name was Nesnar, and he went by
Nesnar.
Black Spider.
Right. It was a former adventuring companion of yours, I believe. Another great member of the Spiders, although apparently not quite as retired as yourself.
And she kind of bends her head a little bit lower in sadness and says, "Nesnar, I've been told what happened."
Oh, well then you know he's very much retired.
And she kind of, you can see she's, so none of her skin is revealed, right? She's wearing this hood, she's got a mask, she's got these kind of silver silk gloves, and you can see them kind of grab and kind of hold on to the sides of the chair a little bit more tightly. You can see the leather kind of depress as she kind of grasps, and she goes, "Yes, well, it's best we move on from that, isn't it?"
Fair enough.
Maybe for you. What exactly was he doing up just in the outskirts of Fandolin?
And so she looks over to you and says, "Why don't you and your companions come sit, come join me, and I'll tell you."
I'll stand, thank you.
Steve sits and puts his boots on an ottoman.
Oh, no.
I'll stand.
By the way, I move. Because I'm invisible. I move closer. I'm going to assume she knows I'm there, or it knows I'm there, and I too am just kind of looking around. Nothing to note.
How high is the ceiling in this place?
18 to 20 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there rafters?
There are no rafters, no.
Okay. So I can't just like there's no place for me to like
You're
perch.
desperate to fly somewhere.
So I'm just like, I'm gonna like stretch my wings. They're just gonna flap. Feathers are gonna fly over the place. I'm gonna dimple up. And I'm gonna sit down.
And just so we know, can Arakoa like fly, or are they like chickens? Where they
I can
They can fly.
Okay.
Yep.
As a side note, that's not a base character type. So good for you.
Arakoa?
It's a player race now, so it's not in part of the player handbook, but it is in some of the newer releases.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not a base character type. So good for you, Nick.
Yeah, it's our first like
Exotic.
Yeah, first exotic. Yeah,
I'm just
which I think is exciting.
human.
It's exciting.
Okay, and so Rector, are you standing by the door, or do you kind of go further into the room?
I'll take a few steps towards the table, about halfway between the table and the door, just to indicate that
Okay. And she's not at the table. She's actually seated at in front of the fireplace, and so the table is off to your left. As you're walking in the door, there's a table off to the left. It's really kind of a dining table, although it's not. There's no food there.
So she's just staring into the fire like the Big Lebowski?
Basically, yeah.
All right.
She's actually seated quite close to the fire. It's almost as if she's warming herself.
I will stand like behind a chair.
Where does
Like,
she want us to sit?
standoffish.
So there are a few chairs nearby. There's enough to seat. This is a very large room. There's enough to seat. You'd probably maybe have to pull a few chairs forward from the table if you all wanted to sit by the fire.
Yeah, I'm going to hang halfway between her and the door, basically.
There's probably three other nice, luxurious kind of seating chairs in front of the fireplace that aren't occupied. Well, one of them, no, two more, because Steve's sitting on one with his feet up on an ottoman. Okay. So as you guys kind of come forward, Steve sits down. One of you stands behind a chair. I think Roland is staying behind the chair. And where did Zygmundo go? Sorry.
Oh,
He's
like
invisible. That's right.
I'm invisible, but off to the side. You said there was windows here?
There are no windows where you in this room.
All right, so I'm toward the back of the room, near-ish the door.
Okay. So she, as you guys come closer, she says, "Many years ago, Nesnar and I were part of an adventuring company, and we had many great adventures." And she kind of gestures to the room around you, and she says, "These are some of the artifacts from our time, but things didn't go as planned, and I was killed. I was killed in Chult," and she kind of points at a map on the wall. And like many adventurers, I was brought back. Nesnar, he and our friends brought me back, and Nesnar and I decided that was our signal. It was time, and we retired here to Baldur's Gate to sell some of our knowledge, some of our wares that we had acquired over the years. But for a time, we were happy, and then, well, about a year ago, I became ill, and I was one of the first actually to fall to what is now being called the death curse.
Could you explain a little bit more about that? Nesnar seemed very concerned about it. For whatever he's doing, he definitely wanted it fixed.
From what we've been able to find out, it started in Chult, and perhaps even years ago. It's just taken time to arrive here, and I don't believe it has spread yet to the northern Sword Coast, but it seems to be moving and it seems to be accelerating. But whoever has previously died, we grow frail, and the life starts to leave us again, and some have died quicker than others. I have no idea how much time I have
I'm
left,
sorry.
but I am getting very
Excuse me.
frail.
Excuse me. You mentioned you and Nesnar had great times together. Are you aware that he took an entire town hostage? He took women and children from their homes and imprisoned them? Are you aware of the atrocities that he has committed?
Nesnar went the wrong way. I understand that. I understand that what you did to him, and she kind of grasps her chair and clutches it again. It had to be done, but he was trying to save me. He was looking for an artifact called the Forge Gem that he believed could cure this curse. I understand what you're saying. I understand the terrible atrocity that you've seen, but you have to understand that what does it mean for death to be permanent? That is what we are up against. This doesn't just take the lives that have been given back to those like myself and others. This means that as the death curse arrives in your land, you will never be able to be resurrected. All death will be permanent.
Yeah, let he who hasn't committed an atrocity cast the first stone, right, Recto?
I'm sorry, I guess I don't know.
Oh, past burn.
I guess I don't understand what you mean by death will be permanent. I mean, why are we looking to be resurrected from the dead? Are we looking to raise undead? What are we talking about here?
You better resurrect me if I die.
Well, I know that for many peasants, death has been permanent forever, but for those in the upper echelons of society, those the adventuring class, we've always been able to sometimes, and with great effort, come back, and it hasn't been again permanent. It's something that can be fixed.
Like certain dwarf miners, right, guys? Heyo.
Those that have been brought back are now sick, and try as they might, the clerics can no longer reinfuse a spirit back into the body once it has left. That is a much greater atrocity.
So in the name of bringing back these wealthy individuals who can resurrect themselves, Nesdar felt it necessary to imprison women and children.
Think about all the good that could be done with resurrection, right? All the good that has been done, all of the lives that have been lost and brought back that will no longer be able to be brought back. Death being permanent is a great travesty.
Also a deal breaker for us if we ever expect to become as comfortable as Miss Sildane here.
And she kind of looks over at Steve and looks, points around. Yes, your friend is right. Could I have amassed such fortune with only one lifetime, diving into the most dangerous of dungeons and fighting dragons and liches? No.
Okay.
I don't give a damn about your fortune.
All right,
Why are we
let me
here?
play you a violin. I'm gonna pull up my viola and start playing it for him.
Okay. We've got some music going on in the background now.
So Steve is sold
I-
on this quest. By the way.
I know we're not here to keep your fortune. Tell us why we're here.
Well, I've heard on good authority from my friends, the Harpers, that how you dealt with Nesnar, how you've dealt in Thunder Tree, that you all are quite capable, and I am looking for a party of heroes who can fix this sickness. Not just because it is affecting me, but because of the danger to the rest of the world.
I message the party using message telepathically. She wants us to set the stuff on fire.
I
don't follow. Does anybody understand?
I mentally message him back. Probably. Let's negotiate a good flame setting rate here.
Fire! Sam. Sorry.
And
I have no idea what's happening. I don't get it. I want her to keep talking.
In keeping with that conversation, I would like to mention to Syndra that adventuring like that can be quite expensive, and she seems like someone that could keep us well supplied to help her deal with her very immediate and pertinent problem.
And she says, yes, well, I would of course provide transportation, and if you are able to solve this problem for me and for the rest of the world, there would be great riches, many magical items. I have many here within this home, and I would open that home to you. If you can solve this, I will. The number of magical riches that you will receive, you will be amazed.
I would like to attempt to persuade her for a token of good faith towards that in the form of unenchanted item.
Okay, go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Okay, come on, Steve. Be persuasive.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's
Quite
pretty good.
persuasive.
So she thinks about it and says, well, I think I could do something. If you agree to this, I'll give you a stipend. Well, I need all of you to agree. Not something you can do alone, son. We need you all to go. And I will provide transportation. I can even set you up with some potential accommodations, some gold to get started, and then when you return, I'll let you have your choice of magical item from these walls.
I'm on board. Sounds like a worthy pursuit of our time for many reasons, guys.
Rod storms in and says, "Magical items."
I punch Karat. How do you know the bird?
You can try.
Or how about what's wrong with the bird?
There's
she
definitely
kind
something wrong with
of
it.
she kind of looks and nods over at Squawk, just for Squawk to tell his story.
Oh, my story?
So the question was, how does she know the bird, and what's wrong with the bird?
There's nothing wrong with me. Why do you think there's something wrong with me? I'm just cleaning myself. That's what birds are wont to do.
Arakoa.
Why are you here, bird?
I was paid to pick up the Flames of Tresendar. I am here because I just happen to be walking by, and if you happen to be going to the island that I wanted to be, if you guys are going to go to Kursabal Monastery, then I will hitch a ride with you. Otherwise, I will find the next group of adventurers that want to go there.
Go
Who
where?
said anything about a monastery?
Where?
That's if you guys aren't going to where I need to go, then that's fine. I will go someplace else. I am looking for a way to. My story right
That
now
sounds
is not
shady.
of importance to you. My story right now was to bring you here. That's what you need to know.
Sindra butts in and says, he was looking for work. I paid him coin to go and bring you to me. He's also expressed interest in traveling to Chult, which is, I believe, where it all started for me, and it might be where it all ends.
So, where specifically are you headed, Feathers? That's to you, Squawk.
I don't know if I feel like I'm just gonna go ahead and Feathers. Feathers is not my name. My name is Squawk.
Well, we're an informal crew.
I am trying to get you Kursabal.
Who? What now?
I'm trying to get to Kursabal. Short
Kursabal.
man.
Fair enough. Does anyone know where Kursabal is?
Never heard of it.
Do you know where it is? Squawk.
I'm from I know. Of course, I know where Kursabal is. That's why I'm trying to get back there.
Maybe you could explain your motivations a little bit. We've been recently burned by party members who weren't too clear on what they wanted or why.
Well, maybe you should not be so trusting.
Maybe not.
Okay, well maybe we should leave this bird here. I don't trust him. I don't trust him.
I'm trying to get to Chult. I needed some coin to pay for my passage. To pay for my passage.
Hey, Troy, can I tell if can I tell if the bird is being distrusting?
So roll an insight check.
All right.
Distrusting. He hasn't said anything.
So
Well, I
you
can
don't
tell his
believe
actions. Maybe.
you don't believe he's lied to you in any way.
What's
So
in
you're on the
cursive?
manic cycle.
Sindra paid me the coin that needed that I needed to pay for the crew so that I could get myself to Kursabal.
What's in
And I
cursive
did-
ball for you?
That's my story is my story. I do not know you either. If you do not trust me, why should I trust you?
So Sindra kind of pipes in and says, Kursabal is one of the homes of the Arakoa on Chult. I believe this Arakoa is going home.
There's ships that go there, right?
And she says, yes, there are ships, but
Kursabal is
time is of
far,
the
far
essence.
away. I as great as my wings are, I cannot fly there. I need to have a safe passage, and I did not have the coin. Now I have coin.
Okay.
Time
Good talk.
is of the essence for me. I do not know how much time I have left. First of all, I'm sorry, Squawk. I cannot take you there, but I can take us all to Port Nyanzaru, which is the largest of the cities on civilized cities in Chult. I can teleport us there today.
I would say I would kind of look to the group and say, it's been how many weeks have we been on the boat?
I telepathically message him back. I'm in.
Sweet. Let's say 3 weeks.
That we were on a boat. We just showed up in this town, and somebody wants to immediately teleport us away. I mean,
What,
is this what we want to do right now? Do we need to tell her right this second?
Before we do, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
You mentioned a gem of some kind.
Yes, the forge gem. It was. We believed that it powered what was called the Forge of Spells inside of a mine many years ago near Neverwinter. Nesnar went to find this gem. He believed that maybe he could use it to cure this curse, but I don't know if he found it.
What does this gem look like?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but it would have been at the heart of the forge if the forge was real.
So what are we talking about in Chult? Do we have any idea what is causing this? Is it a magical item? Is it a cave somewhere? Is it a mountain?
It's there are rumors. I cannot say for sure, but what we've been told is that there are rumors of something that is being called the Soulmonger, and it's some kind of device. I don't know who has built it or where it is, other than that it appears to be somewhere in the depths of Chult, within the jungles, and that the device appears
Oh,
to be
defecation!
causing this.
I have to leave. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna grab my violin. I'm gonna run out the door,
Okay.
Okay. It sounds like we'd need
leaving a trail
to
of feathers.
be reasonably well provisioned if we were headed into an island covered in wilderness and savages. We just got off the boat maybe half an hour ago.
That's what I'm talking about.
We probably need a little time to re-provision ourselves and at least rest and eat something that we won't then throw up before we can begin. Should we agree to your terms?
So she kind of pulls a cane up from beside her and kind of shakily stands up and pushes her hood back, and you see silver hair of an older woman. And as she lifts the mask off, you see that she's massively disfigured, and her flesh seems to be rotting.
Oh boy.
Whoa, says Steve.
And she says, and kind of holds the mask up, and you can see kind of like pieces of flesh stuck to the inside of the mask. And she tells you,
Gross.
I am very sorry, but I don't have much time.
This doesn't look like it's gonna go to hell in a handbasket overnight. I mean,
You
what's
should
done
know
is done,
where
right?
Here's a
For a
healing.
night to sleep on it.
Steve, you had mentioned something about the depths of a jungle when we were in one of our previous destinations. Can you shed some light on that?
What she's saying sounds familiar to me. There's, if visions can be trusted, what we're looking for is, I think, a great, and correct me if I'm wrong, Troy, because I'm trying to correctly recount the vision, but a great, not pit, but what do you call like a big indentation, like a crater, right?
Crevasse.
And then, yeah, sure.
Wait, what?
Crater,
Mm-hmm.
like a crater, and then deep within its center, a massive eldritch castle, championed by an undead being of great and ominous power.
Yep.
Does that ring any bells, Syndra?
I do not know of that particular location. I had ventured many times in Chult, but that I cannot say. But that very well could be where you'll find the Soulmonger.
Let's just say I'd know it if I saw it.
I can get you to Port Nyanzaru, and once there, I have a very powerful friend who can help you to provision and find your way deeper into the island.
I'm for it.
What is Port Catanzaro?
Nyanzaru. Port Nyanzaru is it's one of the few civilized locations within Chult. It's a city, not as large as Baldur's Gate, but by far the largest on that island. It is the main port for where many adventurers would take off, but I don't have time for sea travel. I'm not sure that I could survive it.
Me neither. Sea travel sucks. Steve is quite drunk now. and on board with this. Saying as long as we're just teleporting from one city to the next, I don't see any difference between one tavern and another tavern.
I'm as Steve. I'm for it.
They're much the same. I imagine if we can reprovision in this port once we get there, sure, let's go right now. Yeah, probably take just as long as walking out the door and finding the shops around this expensive-looking place anyway.
What can you tell us about the savages of Chult? I mean, who are we dealing with? What types of people might we encounter that we would need to worry about?
Well, it's a large and diverse land. You've met one of the Arakoa, the famous bird people of Chult. There are great beasts, large reptiles that stand 30, 40 feet high, perhaps even larger in some cases.
Oh, hell.
Ferocious lizard men, people with the heads and torsos of a man and the body of a snake. There are many, many horrific sights in Chult, but also many beautiful ones.
So just
sounds delightful.
If we go to Chult and one of us dies, will we not be able to come back?
I don't think you understand. If you were to die here in Baldur's Gate, you could no longer come back. Within weeks, if you were to die in Waterdeep, you would no longer be able to come back. And within 2 moons, perhaps even within Neverwinter itself.
I am so confused as a storyteller standpoint. Like, what's going on here? Like, I get it, but like, it's mysterious.
So the way I don't know.
So let me. I mean, just for a second, I'll impart my understanding of what's going on. Right? Normally,
I'm gonna grab a drink while you're.
Okay. Normally, people can get resurrected. From what I understand, that's still kind of working, but once you're resurrected, you'll immediately start to die again. Whereas before, you would just be fine.
So,
Gotcha.
quick clarification of that. If you were resurrected previously, you are now dying. If you were to die now, you can no longer be resurrected. Resurrection is just not working.
Well, and none of us
across the board where people are infected.
Yeah, none of us have been resurrected thus far, so we shouldn't be.
No, but a couple of us have come damn close.
Damn close, including me.
That death saves.
Yeah, glad it didn't come to that, especially now. But so I think that's the situation, and apparently this is now becoming a worldwide phenomenon.
So the HIV is spreading.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
So she kind of tells you that it started in the south, in the land of Chult. It has been creeping up northern along the Sword Coast, but it's accelerating very rapidly.
And that checks out with what I experienced in the mines.
And so a quick bit of, this is not something I would explain, but this is sort of some meta information. Here's what the death curse means to you guys mechanically. It means if you die, you cannot be resurrected. If you were already resurrected, then you lose 1 max HP per day.
Whoa!
Oh.
Jeez, glad that didn't happen.
Also, the death saving throw has been increased to a 15 or higher.
Wait, so
are we infected with this? Like, are we?
It doesn't matter.
We're all infected.
But it's in this area. It's obviously.
It's not like infecting a person. It's like the land.
Yeah.
You're talking died or unconscious?
Died.
If you have died, you lose 1 maximum HP per day. None of you have died yet. So if you've died and been resurrected, you lose 1 maximum HP per day.
We'd be
None
hurting
of you have
right
died
now.
or been resurrected. The other thing is, if you died now, you can't be resurrected.
And the DC's a 15.
And the DC's a 15 instead of a 10.
Wow, that's pretty heavy stuff.
I'll be saving those luck points.
Oh, I got you.
So it's basically harder. It's easier to die, and when you die, you can't be resurrected. It's permanent.
Wait, how is it easier to die?
DC check for your success saving throws on death, right? The death saving throws
Gotcha.
is a 15 instead of a 10.
10.
Right. So remember that thing where if you get 3 X's, your dead, or you're actually not just permanently dead. You're dead, which now means permanently dead. You have to roll 16 or higher
don't do that.
3 times before you've rolled 15 or lower.
Oh no!
Yeah,
That by the way, that one would count as 2 losses.
Yeah, that's two deaths. All right. Also, other question. Sorry if you covered this. Do we have the gem, the black cube?
No.
It was a green glowing stone that you guys pulled out of the forge, and then it disappeared. Remember?
Right as it.
Don't we have a cube that we got from the spider though?
Yeah, didn't
That
we get
was-
something from him?
Yeah, there was a cube on his body, which I have, and which I will now ask Syndra. Nesnar had this on his person. Is this something that you can explain a little bit more for us? The letters that he had sent us in your direction with this item.
So she takes the cube from you with a shaky hand and looks at it and says, "I don't know, but I believe our friend Wakanga may know. We should seek him out first in Port Nine Zaru."
Roger that, and I
All right,
give the cube back.
let's take a 5-minute bio break since several other people are all running off.
Yep.
Did you say
Fine.
Wakanda?
Ain't
Wakanga.
got none. Wakanda ain't got none.
His name is Wakanga Otamu.
Hey, I just saw that this week. That was a fun ride.
That was a great
I
movie.
have not
Great
seen
movie.
it yet. I heard it was really good.
You know what? No spoilers about it, but like it really stood out as a completely independent, non-Marvel movie.
It did.
Like I could have watched that as like somebody just said, "Hey, this is a really cool sci-fi movie," and I would have been all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I really like the villain too.
Yeah, one of probably the best since Loki, I think.
You know, Lexi and I really have a hard time with his motivation. Like, and understandably, it's crammed into like a 2-hour block, but like he just
makes sense to me, man.
aggressive so fast.
And it makes sense to me.
He was aggressive since the beginning.
Yeah, his name is Killmonger.
Like from literally the first time you see him, he's doing bad
Aggressive
shit.
things. Yeah.
I mean,
Is that MBJ?
Yeah. And he's really good.
I feel like they could have fleshed it out a little bit rounder because everything else has such a good polish on it that just felt clunky.
He was covered in round things.
Shut up.
Each one of which was the mark of a kill.
Yeah, it's no, it was pretty good. I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, but only complaint about that is I feel like they rushed him just a little bit. But
I just dug like all the Afrofuturism stuff. It was so different than anything we've seen, really.
You talking about the Black Panther?
yeah. No spoilers, just general impressions. If
I
you
was,
haven't
telling,
seen
I, was, I was telling Nick, I think definitely a top 5 Marvel movie for me.
So I just rewatched Guardians 2 today,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed that too.
Yeah, Guardians 2 is good. No.
I thought Guardians. I mean, I don't think Guardians 2 is nearly as good as Guardians 1. And I think
No, and
Guardians 1
Lexi
only
100% agrees with you on that.
I still think that Guardians 1 still has a huge like nostalgia factor to it of how great it was.
Guardians 2 isn't even close to as good as Guardians 1.
No, but the visuals on it are fantastic. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
think I'd
fine.
rather rewatch 2 than 1.
what's
What?
that?
Really?
You're the
I think I'd
only
rather
person I've
I
ever
thought
heard say
Guardians
that.
2 was so. I mean, I guess Guardians 1 was as well, but like Guardians 2 felt so like forced out. Like it was just so beat for beat. Like you knew what was
45
gonna
minutes
happen.
of daddy issues just drag that thing down.
Yeah, but it was Snake Plissken daddy issues.
Ooh.
He wasn't really Snake Plissken though. He wasn't.
But you know what I liked about Black Panther though?
I just didn't think that he was.
I felt like everybody in Black Panther was a hero. Like all the characters. You know, it's like even the villain was a hero to somebody. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
think
It's like
I think that Michael B. Johnson is
Jordan.
Michael B. Johnson. Michael B. Jordan is like rapidly is going to be like the next
Big.
Denzel.
Yeah, he's and big like popularity wise, but also like big measurement-wise, dude is huge now.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
pretty
dude.
ripped.
Yeah, that guy is
mean,
cut,
all you do-
carved out of
all you
wood,
do is
dude.
I was texting Nick afterwards. I was like, I can't wait for the next Rocky or the Creed, because he basically is like the size of Ivan Drago now.
He'll be the new Mr. T.
My boy Forrest Whitaker made another appearance as a shaman yet again.
Well, Forrest Whitaker he's getting up there in years a little bit. Like his act-
slow moving wisdom shaman. That's right up his alley.
That's,
Even
his, that's his favorite club in his bag at this point.
Even in Ghost Dog, he was basically a shaman. You know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say. Like, it started with Ghost Dog. What's that?
You never seen Ghost Dog?
You have?
Ghost
Oh
Dog.
my god, yeah, I have it on DVD actually.
Yes.
Isn't that where he comes back to life and like visits his family and helps them?
No.
That's
Oh.
really dad.
That's
Oh.
bad.
My bad.
I can't tell if that was a setup or not.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway,
Well done.
Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai. That's such a good movie.
It's an amazing movie. I really like it a lot. It's one of my top 50 movies maybe for me.
Did we hit a stopping point? Or are we just like completely?
Oh no,
You
just,
got up and left, so we took a bio break.
we're bio break and now
Yeah,
we're
you and-
bullshitting.
You and Andy both left, so we took.
Is
Andy
Andy
back?
are you back? He's still on mute.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab another beer. It's not gonna take me very long. It's just right next door.
All right.
Like in the next house.
Yeah.
Like,
Next house over.
door?
At his brewery that he needs
I watched,
$100,000 for.
I watched Molly's game last night. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. Well, it's Sorkin, dude. I eat Sorkin up. I love it.
Yeah,
So,
you do.
yeah.
We were watching Designated Survivor yesterday. Did you guys watch that? Does anyone watch that show?
No.
Designated Survivor. And like I was watching, I was like, there is a severe lack of walk and talks. And this is this show could definitely be a Sorkin show with like the political portions of with more walk and talks. So go ahead, Meryl.
Yeah.
So just to expedite what we're gonna do here, is everybody essentially on board with this? I mean, he's just trying to get us to the main bit.
We are. I'm trying to role play out a little more what we're going to do before we just get teleported somewhere. So
yeah,
this person we've never met before has offered to send us to an extremely dangerous place.
we're in an
Basically, to
extremely
do
dangerous
something
place.
that will only help her, as far as we know. If we're taking her at her word, it will
And
help.
her messed up face.
Yeah.
And the note that we found on her companion. I mean, which
Who took a town hostage, took women and children prisoner, and killed people.
again, who among us hasn't committed a few atrocities? At least he wasn't murdering POW religious members or something like that.
I feel like this one's going to be held over my head for a while. I feel
It
like.
definitely is. That was psycho.
I said I'm sorry. God.
I said I'm sorry. He says.
I was honestly a little scared. I didn't know what was going on.
I was listening to it and I was like, what the fuck is he doing? When did Recto go on a kill rampage of priests?
So just to jump back to that, as far as Recto knew, those priests attacked us because
you broke into their house and started murdering them.
no, Garad broke into their house and started attacking
And
them.
you did too.
No,
You
when
broke in
Recto
the
came
other
back, those priests were attacking Zygmundo, and so that's why
Wait.
Recto went in to attack them.
And the murder of the unarmed priest.
Well, I mean,
Yeah. Okay. Looks like Andy's back.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
but no, Recto ran off because Garad decided that the Redoth the Harmless Druid was holding vital information from us and assaulted him.
Dude, we all heard it. Indefensible.
All right,
Let's
so
move on.
Syndra hands back the says, "Give that to Wakanga when we get to Port Nine Zaru." And then you see her kind of hold her cane up for a minute, and you see like it starts to glow with energy, and you can briefly see some of her flesh on her face start to like knit itself back together for just a few seconds, but then it starts to rapidly decompose again. And she says, "If you need more time, I can give you one night. If you can't go, I will find somebody else in the morning."
I'm ready to go. I think we should go find that bird guy if he's coming and get out of here. What say you,
She
Flames?
says, meet me back here in the morning, and we go.
I think that sounds good.
Fair.
I will thank her for the time.
I will not.
I'll exit the room, take the bottle of wine with me, and go out into the hallway and see if I can trail of feathers to let Squawk know that we're probably headed out in the morning.
Okay, so you guys want to follow? So you're all following Feather to track down Squawk?
Yeah, can we ask, I mean, either her or somebody, is there a place where we can be put up for the night? Is there a place you would recommend?
And she basically tells, she kind of actually points you towards one of her attendants, and the attendant comes by and says that he had the Arakoa put up in a tavern that you could stay in for the evening. They would pay for it for one evening only, and he gives you directions to the 3 old kegs.
So can we charge drinks to the room if he's getting the rooms?
And the attendant says, Miss Sylvine would prefer that you're of a right mind.
Well, we all have preferences. We'll see how that goes.
How does it feel to want?
Get used to disappointment, shithead.
So he gives you directions that lead down to a tavern called the 3 Old Kegs.
Okay. I go there, or start heading there, I guess. Exit the building.
Okay. So you guys walk back out into the what's now starting to become evening of the
sorry.
upper city.
Sorry, one quick question.
Yep.
The persuasion, what did we actually persuade her to do? Just pay for all our expenses?
So that was, you're going to get some upfront money, basically.
How much? I need to be accounting.
So it's going to be 50 gold upfront.
50 for each?
No, total.
This is cheap ass. All right.
Oh, roll better.
That's plenty of.
I rolled
That was a great roll.
really
That was
well.
a great roll.
Dude rolled a 24.
Come on.
Roll 25.
50 gold is a lot of provisions, guys.
Okay.
Excuse
That's one whole potion.
Okay.
Not quite, but
Not quite. Not even close.
but if you look at non-magical, non-potion,
It's a lot of food.
it's a lot of rations.
A lot of hot pockets.
Are we worried about rations? Do we need to worry about that?
You might. You'll learn more about that very soon.
Well, no, I'm just asking because we didn't worry about it in the last module. So
I know.
He'll tell us.
Things are going to change a little bit.
He told you the gloves are coming off.
So no, I'm asking because I want to know if I need to buy rations.
Now,
buy rations.
here
We're
and
gonna
now
buy
would not be
50
the
gold.
here in Baldur's Gate would not be the appropriate time and place to do that.
Fair enough.
I would wait.
So when we get to the bar, I'd like to just kind of hang out at the bar and kind of listen to the chatter going on.
Can now be a time to purchase potions?
Sure. Yeah, you can try to find a. So instead of going to the look for a shop, because it's getting pretty late in the evening, you probably don't have time to do both.
No, I'm not going to the pub.
Okay.
Steve will go to the pub and begin to carouse.
So Zig, just assume that you can find normal potions for the standard prices. We're in a big city, so the player handbook prices for things like healing potions and stuff.
Okay, great. Thanks. I'll do that math right now and then act accordingly.
Okay. So you guys walk into the 3 Old Kegs, minus Zigmundo, who probably has
shopping.
a really odd shopping experience with the first merchant before he realizes he's still invisible. But you guys
Who
walk
said I was paying for things?
All right, so you guys walk into the tavern, and you see you see a bar along the right side. You see a few high top tables, and then at the back you see almost like an impromptu stage with an Arakoa up on top of the stage.
Do we
Just sit right
recognize the
and you'll
Erica?
hear a story of a group of travelers. They started from this very port aboard one of our mighty vessels. This captain was a mighty sailor, and he had an apprentice that was very knowledgeable as well. 5 passengers went off with him one day for a travel that was going to last for half the day. On
3
their
hours.
adventure, the storm did rise, and many winds blew. The ship was tossed around, and if it were not for the captain and his first mate, the vessel would have been lost to the ravages of this giant storm.
Oh my god.
The crew and the passengers woke up once on the shore of a desert isle with the captain, who was a giant man, and the skipper, who was this little tiny fellow with a hat.
Was he his little buddy?
There was a very wealthy man along with his wife, a scientist and a performer as well. And now they are stuck on this island. For more adventures, you must come to this bar and listen to me tell their tale each and every night.
And there's quite the round of applause from Tavern.
Steve leans over to Roland and goes, "This guy sucks."
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I find myself bardically inspired.
Do you?
You guys wanted to go to the tavern, you're there.
Yeah, presumably I can recognize that our
You recognize that
our
the
narrator is
performed was Squawk.
So I as soon as he leaves the stage, I'll walk up to him and let him know. It seems that we'll be leaving in the morning. If you're truly headed to Chult, might want to catch the bus with us, or I'm sorry, catch the carriage. Colloquially.
Carriage? I'm okay with carriage, little man.
All right, Feathers. See you in the morning.
I grab a bar. I just if there's a table next to me, I just grab a beer off of it and start drinking it, and start following the party off to the bar.
So, I'd like to kind of sit at the bar, like next to people. I don't know if there's people at the bar. I'm guessing there are.
There are. It's you're in the middle of a big city. It's happening. There's the bar is pretty packed.
So
You have
I'd
to
like
wait
to-
a few minutes to find an open seat.
I'll turn to the person next to me, like, "Hey, you know where that bird's from? That bird's from Chult."
And so the guy next to you, he's a few tankards in already, and he's kind of swaying a bit. Chult, what's Chult?
I turn to the other side, to the person on that side, and say, "Hey, you know where that bird's from? That bird's from Chult."
Cho, you don't Cho
wait,
me.
whoa. Never mind, not anything.
Okay. So the guy on the other side, you can see he has a anchor tattoo on his arm. Appears to be a sailor. And he kind of lifts up and says, "Chult, Jesus. Well, last time we were back into Port Nyanzar, we had to throw half our cargo over for that goddamn turtle." Kind of throws his tankard up.
Yeah, yeah, turtle. Oh man, we had. Hey man, tell me your story about that turtle.
So we were loaded down with silver, headed out of Nyanzaru, coming back here to the gate, and we thought we could get out of the bay before he noticed us, because we waited until one of the other suckers tried to speed past him, right? So we're sailing through the bay, and all of a sudden he just reaches out and clamps down on the other boat, chops her right in half. The fucker sank. And what does he do? He turns around and comes up to us. He swims right up to us, sticks his little greedy mouth up out of the water. And what does the captain say? Yeah, start pouring the silver over into his mouth. And so we go down in the cargo hold. It's been 30 fucking minutes just pulling the silver up and tossing it into the turtle's mouth. And eventually he goes back down, and there go my wages. So I hope you're buying the next one, pal.
I am. Two of whatever you're having. To the bartender. Man, when we saw that turtle, it must have been It must have been 20 feet long. How big was it when you saw it?
20 feet long. That's. I don't know where you saw my friend, but about the tip of his tongue.
Oh, it's been a while since I've been there. Sounds like he's grown quite a bit.
Dragon turtles. Such a pain.
The fuck is a dragon turtle? Sorry, that's not in character. Sorry. All right. Yeah, and I'll buy the guy a drink. I offer to buy him a drink. Say, hey man, cheers to getting around that thing. Glad you made it here.
Gives you a little sailor's salute and gets back to his drinking.
A sailor salute is the bird, by the way.
Do I need to do I need to deduct cash for that, by the way?
No, it's fine. It's like a copper for a ale.
I stroll back into the bar. I found what I needed. I'm back.
All right.
I will have gotten a drink and sat in a dark corner because these cities creep me out. And I'm trying to keep to myself as much as I can, but I'm keeping my ears open. If there's anything I were to hear, but I'm likely to find a less crowded, dark corner.
Okay.
And I sit down next to him.
Steve is drinking and doing playing some games, listening to the songs, and basically preparing to shut the place down.
All right. Steve, roll a let's roll a d6. Just roll a d6. And I'll give you a d6 plus 1.
Oh,
all right. You lose 1 gold playing games in the tavern.
Got it.
Okay, so I am going to be performing. I am going to be playing my violin, and I'm going to cast my dancing lights cantrip to help put on a light show as I am doing my performances with my viola.
All right.
Is it a viola or a
Go
viola?
ahead and let's see. Hold on a second before you gets too into it. I'll check something real quick.
Go my performance.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll a performance check. And I'll give you advantage from the dancing lights.
Thank you. Sweet. I am so glad I cast dancing lights.
All right, the crowd goes fucking wild. You guys see it's like the Baldur's Gate version of like a David Bowie show. There's
That's what I'm going for.
lights everywhere. Everybody's
So he died.
I even clapped for you 2 or 3 times.
This might be a game setting thing. Is there a way that if I were to play music that we could have my music trump yours? Could you pass me like music rights?
Like, there's not. I don't think that's a thing.
You have to sing it.
Well, I'm just playing I am just playing music now. So,
like, you can play music through your microphone, and I could stop this music.
That seems horrible.
Can
I'll
you
have to get a better microphone.
Can you actually play music?
No, it's totally doable. Nick, if you just play something on your Mac, it'll pick it up pretty cleanly.
No, but can you, Nick, play an instrument?
You can route it too if you needed it.
No, but I found some like violin.
Does Rock Band count?
Yeah, no, Rock Band actually works really well. I use it for my other hilarious.
I'll find some like violin non-copyrighted music so that I can play it. So I can, if I want to play the violin or if I want to do like a drum solo or play the pan flute, like I can have that music going.
You should learn to play violin.
You should see Nick play "Don't Fear the Reaper."
Yeah, next. So
that can't be that hard to start with, right? Anyway.
All right, so Squawk finishes his performance. Everybody's cheering. People rush to the bar. It's 4 or 5 people deep across the bar now. Everybody that's sitting at the bar is really crowded as people are just flowing in from the streets to try and get into this bar. This
I take a beer off the table.
All right. Somebody else goes and puts 3 more beers down in front of the Arakoa who just put on the Rockstar performance.
Sweet.
Can we group up as a group all at one table and kind of discuss what the hell just happened at this castle and how everybody's feeling about it?
It's pretty busy right now, so there's no free tables. But if you wanted to,
or aren't Roland and Zig
actually Roland's sitting at one. So if they've been able to send off down.
Do they have they have
Oh yeah,
bottle,
people
they
don't
have
want to
bottle
come anywhere
service?
near me. So
Yeah, and Zigmundo sat next to him, so there's at least
I
something.
smell like a wet bear. Like nobody wants to come near me. So it kind of clears the area out.
Yeah, there's bottle service. There's a tavern wench that comes by from time.
Bottle service.
You can throw a few poppers her way, and she'll bring out another round.
So guys, are we okay with what we're doing here? I mean, do we really know what we're getting into?
Very okay.
It looks like we don't have too much of another choice.
Oh, there's always a choice. We could just
Well,
go back to Phandalin and hang
let's
out
look
and be heroes.
I don't know about you, Recto, but I'm not satisfied with having a birdhouse making factory in some backwards town or clearing out the ruins of some other shithole town. I came up with the Grey Hands. That was fame. That was money. We were in a house today that shows what we should be in this world, and I'm gonna get there. And we can't get there if we're dying all the time.
I'm with you guys till the end. You guys help me bring my family home, so I'm with you guys whatever we decide. I just want to make sure we know what we're getting into.
Yeah, we killed that lizard, didn't we? Blah! And Steve drinks more. Where's everybody else on this?
I already kind of spoke up that
Yep, you're in.
I'm in for it. I don't love it, but I'm in for it.
Doomspark, you haven't said too much on this. What's your thoughts on old Chult down south?
We'll probably set fire to some
Chult to down
stuff.
south.
Yes, I'm ready to get going whenever you all are ready to get going. It's okay.
You guys want to call it morning then?
Yeah, we're done here. Enough
Alright.
RPing.
Just to be
Nick,
clear, are we sailing down or are we teleporting down? 'Cause
Teleporting.
I want to avoid that effing turtle.
Well, we need to avoid it on the way out, is what we need to do. Or be ready to fight in the water. Which I am prepared to do, but I don't know if everybody is. So let's avoid it on the way out. But yeah, is everybody good with calling it morning?
I don't think I can transform into anything that can eat that thing.
I just want to throw this out there to you guys that you have not informed Squawk of anything.
No, that's on purpose.
I absolutely did say we were leaving in the morning.
He did.
Okay, sorry.
I specifically came to talk to you for that purpose.
I mean, that makes sense that that's all we tell him right now, too, because we don't really know him that well.
We don't know him, and he
yeah.
just says he's going home, right? So
So yeah,
Alright.
we'll turn in for the night, and I'll meet
Yeah.
back at what's her face's place.
Syndra's house.
Okay. So Squawky, you notice as the getting up and starting to make their way out of the tavern.
Okay, I will begin to collect my materials. I will get ready to turn in for the night. Getting ready, and I will come up to them. I will tap Steve on the shoulder.
Hey, Feathers. How's it
Oh.
going?
Hello, little man. Where are we meeting at what time tomorrow?
I don't know. Morning? Syndra's house, I guess? That'd be my best guess. That's where I'm going, I think.
Okay, Cinder's house in the morning. That's like now, so Cinder's house now?
I don't know. Is it morning now?
I think it's late in the it's probably 1 a.m. or something. I don't know.
Okay,
You guys-
so we
you guys-
have not yet turned in. Yeah, I guess. I mean, when the sun comes up, your guess is as good as mine. You can go camp out there if you want. I don't care.
Okay, thanks, little man.
No problem, Feathers. Have a good one.
Nest up there.
Yes, that's actually exactly what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to go to Cinder's house and just like perch on the perch waiting for them to show up.
Okay. All right. So you guys make your way. You actually find some rooms there at the Three Kegs. They knew to expect you. Let you into some pretty tight quarters. Shared room, but individual beds. You're able to lay down and get a good evening's sleep. Early in the morning, you wake up and make your way back to Syndra's. The attendants kind of let you in. Squawk sees you, flaps his way down from wherever he was perched, and walks into the house with you. The attendants again kind of shepherd you up to the third floor, but this time down a different corridor, and you walk into a room that has a large kind of round open area in the middle with a ring of columns around this circle in this large room, and Syndra's standing in the middle, and she once again has her mask on, and she has her cane in one hand and motions towards you with the other gloved hand to come into the circle and says, "Thank you all for arriving. Time is still of the essence. Come join me when we travel to Port 9 Zaru."
The last time I did this, it was down the big metal pipe.
This
Dude, I entered another world.
this doesn't hurt the head, does it?
It won't hurt.
Oh God! Thank you.
Dun, 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 dun.
I want to lean over to the closest person close to me and go, I bet you this hurts like hell.
I'm gonna walk in with my wings over my eyes as I get ready to walk through the portal.
Okay.
Steve just sort of like flumps his way over, just like broken. You've all seen me terrifically hungover. That, but as a half elf.
And Recto just kind of walks through. That's it.
Okay. So you guys kind of walk into the middle of the room. Squawk's covering his face with his wing. By the way, he has arms and wings, just to be clear.
Arms with wings on them?
No, separate.
Okay,
I have 6 limbs.
Yeah.
got it.
I actually clarified that with Troy earlier this
Are they
week.
like T-Rex arms?
No, they're normal
No, they should be
like
tiny.
arms, but with
So if
claws,
I was-
right, Nick?
If I was to get a
Claws.
chicken wing off of him, where would the cut be?
You'd actually be able to
find
get.
Why don't you
You'd actually
find
be able to get a bunch of
Now,
chicken
normal
wings.
human legs are like chicken legs.
Nick, do they open like this or like this?
Draped with my mighty talons.
So you'd actually be able to get 2 wings off of them, but 4 legs.
Ooh, like
Which-
a griffin.
Legs are clearly the best, so
Gotta love those thighs.
you might have a
Dark meat,
new
man.
business idea for once you get to Chult.
Ooh,
How many breasts?
3,000 gold.
I think only 2. Well, does it count? Do you say 2 breasts? I suppose you do, right?
Yeah, you could have 4
I don't know how many
because
breasts
there'd
you
be
have,
2 for the
Troy.
wings, 2 for the arms.
Too.
oh, that's right. They would
I
need
would-
some sort of pectoral, wouldn't they?
Oh, a
Yeah,
pectoral?
that'd be
With a beak?
I
4.
think the wings come off the back, right? So it would be.
Well, they can be in the back. I mean, that makes it just ever so much
Back
more
breasts?
How many D&D campaigns do you think spend a lot of time figuring out how they would cook and eat in Aragon?
Well, the good
Well, they don't
news
have
is,
the kind of
if we
It's
ever
not terribly uncommon.
if we get stranded in an avalanche, we know who we're going to eat first.
Yeah, no, only one
I
of
think
us
it's- I think it's
is
actually
guaranteed
funny.
to be finger looking.
I legit asked our DM earlier this week. I was like, "Hey, listen, do you want me to have 2 arms and 2 wings, or my arms attached to my wings? Like, how is this going to play out?" And the first thing you ask is, "Well, does he have 2 arms and 2 wings?" Like, it was
You
a
gotta
very
know, it's
legit question.
important.
It is.
I gotta know. Is this like BoJack Horseman or like Icarus?
If we're in a Ryan Dragon, there's you gotta know. All right, go ahead.
All right, so
We
you
are-
guys walk into the middle of the room. Sendra's holding her cane. She starts to chant something, grasps it with both hands, holds it high above her head. All of a sudden, the basin, the kind of round floor that you're standing on, all starts to light up in between the columns. Now the energy travels up the columns themselves, and the air becomes kind of like static electricity, or the arm hair starts to stand up, and an instant later, you're teleported into a bright, blinding light. And as your eyes start to adjust, you see that all of a sudden you're standing in a tropical city under a bright, blazing sun. There's familiar sounds of a harbor nearby, creaking ropes, slapping waves, heavy barrels rolling against cobblestones. Voices shouting, cursing in a language that most of you don't know, filled with clicks inhalations, singy-songy words, makes it almost musical.
Oh, God! She lied, guys! My head! It's killing me! It's so hot here! Why does it smell like fish? What have I done to deserve hot fish village?
So
Hot fish street.
It does smell like
Hashtag
fish,
hot fish.
but it also smells like tar and canvas and also like tropical fruits. And so as your eyes start to
Worst possible combination of
Is
smell.
there bird poop all over the streets?
there is a little bit of bird poop, and you do see some Arakoa walking around, but it's not like it's all Arakoa. So there's a great variety of people here. So
Mostly on the statuary.
I'm gonna stretch my wings and I'm gonna fly up and I'm just gonna perch on a rooftop.
Wow,
So-
that's a big city.
Whoa.
Yes. So your eyes adjust and you
Jesus
see
Christ.
Port 9 Zaru in front of you, and it's this explosion of color. All the buildings are painted in bright shades of blue, green, orange, pink. Their walls are adorned with murals. Some portray giant reptiles, some of which you recognize as maybe a turtle picking its head out of the ocean, and also mythical heroes, kind of fighting with spears. Every boarding sports baskets and clay urns with colorful flowers. Some are draped in flowing vines coming up off the roof and over the balconies. There are a few minstrels in bright clothing, some with feathers that look maybe like they might be Arakoa feathers, and shells around their necks performing on street corners. Multicolored pennants wave, and sun awnings flutter above the city walls in front of you. Small crowd of children run by, dressed in feathered hats and wearing capes, squealing as they run up to a street performer whose costume is a big-toothed lizard, like rah, making kind of noises and stomping and fake stomping and roaring at the children. The whole city seems to be bustling, sweating, laughing, swearing, singing, and in front of you, you see a large crowd gathered in front of what looks like a fenced-in depression, and people are cheering and clapping and huzzahing to something that's happening below. Sindra turns to you, kind of as her eyes adjust as well, and says, "Come, we'll make our way to the Merchant's Ward. That is where we will find Wakanga."
So are we on the east side by the bay? Like
Where
You are on the west. You are on the west side, so I'm using our little star to show where we are.
You're just south of the giant flaming pit.
sorry, where's the star I'm looking at?
Top
Northwest.
Top left.
Oh, okay. So
That's us.
all right, we got teleported into. Okay, sorry.
And so Sindra starts to walk towards the southeast, but has to walk around this crowd and kind of fenced-in area.
I will shuffle past Syndra.
Okay. Where are you going?
No. Follow.
Okay. Okay. So is everybody following Sindra, or?
Mm-hmm.
I'm following from the air. Yes.
So you fly?
Yep.
This is a fun place. By the way, good description.
All right.
Good music too.
Very immersive. Yeah.
So Squawk, as you lift up and fly up, you fly 20, 30 feet up in the air, so you can still keep a good sight on everybody else. You see, and you've never been to Port 9 Zaru, but you see off in the not far distance, just past this little courtyard in front of you, you see two enormous ziggurats, almost pyramids that are covered in bamboo and appear to be kind of rickety. And beyond that, you see the wall of the city, and the city itself, city proper, lies beyond. And then within this there's a long, probably 50 plus feet long depression in the ground in front of the party where they're walking. And the party, as you guys walk alongside, now you have to kind of turn the corner here, and I'll move where as you're walking down here. To your left, you see through a crack in the crowd, you can see down into that depression. You see a few kind of maybe 4 to 5 people being lowered down into that pit. The pit's probably maybe 15 feet deep, not very deep, but the people don't seem to want to go down into it. They're being forced down, and they're wearing pretty shoddy clothes, right? They're wearing rags, and the folks around are clapping and cheering as they get forced down into the pit.
That pit is a big rectangle in the middle of that square?
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
trench.
Yeah, it's a trench. That's a good word for it.
Where is this trench? I'm sorry, where is this?
Next
I'm
to the
pinging it
star.
right now.
Yeah, I probably can't see it. Go ahead and try
Right
pinging
from top and to the left.
Northwest.
Right next to where everybody is.
Hey Nick, it's back and to the left. Back and to the left.
So Troy, I'm a little suspicious of our bird friend still, having recently been burnt. So I would like to sort of direct Hansy to sort of tail him,
I don't think.
including in flight.
Okay. Yep, Hansy can fly, and he's invisible, so he flies up and sticks to within around 10 feet of...
Yeah, just want to make sure I know what he's up to. But otherwise, say nothing.
Do you not, Nick? There's a road coming in from the northwest into the town. Do you not see the star coming into there?
I don't. Hang on. I just refreshed my page 2.
You see the picture of the town, right?
You in the right campaign.
We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Roll20.net.
Rapid Rainbow 6? Wait. No, actually, now I'm not even.
Nick, share your screen. Like, I don't know where you're pointing, man. Like, we're all pinging this spot in the upper left
No,
corner.
I totally get that you're pinging it. I am honestly just looking at a white screen right now, so I am
Oh,
going.
refresh your page, yeah.
I
that happens
actually
from
have
time to time.
join back in. I'm just going to exit and then join back in.
Okay.
All right, so these guys are being lowered in. Can we see anything in the pit that they're being lowered into?
Are you... so
To be
the
fair,
pit...
they don't see them. They don't
Hey,
see them.
Troy, as a side note, that was really mean of you to set up these colors in what Nick can't see.
The town is entirely red and green.
So they can... They
It's
can
actually
see,
not that far.
So Nick, they can see the people being lowered down into the trench. There was a little break in the crowd,
Okay.
so everybody saw that much. They can't see the rest of the trench, though. From what you can see, Meryl, it's so actually from where Recto is walking, he can't really see the bottom of the trench. He'd have to get closer.
All right, I get closer.
Okay. So Recto, you kind of motion for the party to head. The break in the crowd and up to this fence that's preventing people from accidentally falling into the trench. And down in the trench itself, you see it's just filled with sand, not deep sand, just a little bit of sand. And you look down towards the southeastern end of the trench, and you see that there are
Okay, got it.
large steel or metal doors at the other end of the trench with slats in them. And you see movement behind the slats, and then you see somebody lower one rope over the side of that end of the trench. Okay, so down there, so up from where you are, right, from up above, the rope gets lowered down, so that the one end is touching the sand, right in front of the doors. And then the crowd starts to cheer, and everybody gets loud in the open, and all of a sudden, 3 large lizards that are probably each about 6 feet high on 2 legs with 2 little arms out in the front come storming out, rushing towards the other end of the trench, and the people that were just lowered down the trench start to scream, and a couple of them try to claw their way up, but there's nothing to grip. But 2 of them just take off running to the other side of the trench as fast as possible, and the crowd is cheering. You see people handing money over.
Can I ask the people next to me, hey, what those guys do? What's going on here?
And so Nick?
Well, I would like this opportunity to swoop down, find like a spot for me where I can grab a beer that's next to me and just drink it.
Can we let Merrill do his thing first?
You called me. You said, "Well, Nick, what do you want?" Like
you
I said,
you did a teacher One moment, please.
Oh
son.
no, I did a. Ooh, I'm excited to say something.
Okay.
I sorry that is. I need to work on my teacher, and then I need to work on my. Ooh.
So right next to you, there's a young guy, and he stops cheering for a minute. He goes, your first time in Port Ninezaru. Look for the ball. And you look down in the pit, and about halfway along the trench, there's a little ball, like a little leather ball. It's probably about 1 foot by 1 foot.
Like a soccer ball?
Yeah, but just all one color, just leather.
Sure, but that size.
Maybe a little smaller. But yeah.
What's the ball? These people don't seem like they want to be in there.
They will make much money if they get to the other end. And so you see two of them have there's a few that are still just pissing themselves and afraid in the corner, and two of them have run down the trench as fast as possible. Now you see that what they're doing is they're closing in on the ball, but you also see those terrible lizards closing in, and let me share with you what those guys look like.
Lizard men? Like the kind that keep us away from the ice wall?
I wouldn't say quite like that.
I think it's like the kind that Alex Jones
Clearly
talks about.
tropical area.
How many are there? 2?
Lizards are cold-blooded. They're not going to be near an ice wall. That would be crazy.
Taste it and see. I got a fever of a 68 and 3.
Is that what your character's singing right now?
Well, I am a bard, so I am trying to.
Yeah, man, you're a bard.
But he's singing.
Roll with it, dude.
You don't know. It's just all chirps and clicks.
Yeah, but I'm singing in Erico, so no one knows what
Right.
I'm saying. I'm practicing the songs. I decided that the song does not work, so I have scrapped it.
Oh shit! Hold on. Thought I had this one already, but I don't.
The video game?
Yes, the video game.
So the creatures look like that.
That's a
They're
raptor.
Like, they're raptors.
Got
They're
it.
hideous lizards.
And so they're running towards the other side of the trench, snapping, right? And the two guys are running. One dives down and gets the ball. A second later, and so so as that's happening, Squawk, you can land and grab a beer from somebody.
Okay, so again, I'm not grabbing a beer from somebody, I'm just grabbing a random beer that I see. Which is fine. So I'm not ordering it, I am just
taking out of somebody's hands?
Yes. Well, I'm stealing it. I'm not stealing it from someone's hands, I am taking it off the table of someone. If it's in front of them, I'm still just taking it and grabbing it.
Okay, there's a server walking by with some drinks. You can take
I will take it off. I will take it off one of theirs.
All right, so you take it off the serving tray and go wherever you're going to drink it. So as he's taken that brew, one of the raptors leaps on top of the guy that had dived for the ball and just sinks its teeth into, starts to dig in and claw at the guy and pulling chunks up, and the ball rolls away. The other guy dives and slides between the raptor's legs, grabs the ball, and starts to run towards the other end of the pit. One of the raptors, just goes towards the far end of the pit where the other folks are kind of fear. But one raptor turns around and starts to chase down the guy with the ball. Yeah.
Man.
Can I ask a gaming question?
Sure.
In this world in general, like in the game of Dungeons and Dragons, like, is everyone? Magic is not that uncommon, right? So if I were to cast a spell, like, everyone knows that there's like spells. Everyone knows that magic is common. Everyone knows that spells get cast. So to say,
Yes.
like, I'm going to cast a spell on this to know that to influence the results of this, I would know based on the rules of the world that people know that magic exists and that fundamentally that is frowned upon to cast magic that would influence the results of this.
It'd be cheating. Yeah.
Yeah, people like it's not like if you became a real life. You're like,
No,
that was a crazy outcome, and then they'll go.
I'm saying, if I were to cast like a level 3 spell right now,
Like I would bet inside this world, people blame shit on wizards all the time when it's not even.
Right.
Things just don't go your way. You're like a fucking wizard did it.
I remarked to Roland, you see how that lizard went right after the guy with the ball? Clever girl.
So the guy with the ball.
Pause with that one.
The guy with the ball gets to their end, dressed with the raptor at his feet. He leaps and grabs onto the rope, and they start to pull him up. And he turns around and starts to shout, "Ah ha ha!" And then the raptor kind of backs up for a minute and leaps and grabs onto his leg and kind of rakes down his leg. You see blood start to pour out of it. And the guy screams and lets go of the rope. The man and the ball fall down into the pit. And half the crowd go, "Ah, yeah!" And half the crowd go, "Oh, no." And the crowd starts to, some of the crowd starts to walk away. And you see a little bit more money changing hands. And Syndra says, "Come, let's go find Wakanga."
Fun party time.
I follow Syndra. This is too much noise for Steve right now.
I'm gonna walk away appalled that they use animals like that. I'm not really caring about the people
Nice.
and wanting to get away from the situation. So I'll follow.
Okay. So you guys continue walking down the pit, and you see one of the there's a guy who looks like he's doing something magical, who somehow enchants the velociraptors to leave their what's now dead prey behind, and casually walks them back into the grate at the southeastern end of the trench.
Wow,
And
that looks useful. Roland, you should learn to do that.
I mean, I can.
Oh, all right. Well,
I mean, I can learn to. I mean, yes.
Hey, friend, you have power over these animals.
who are you talking to?
The guy who's enchanting the velociraptors. Can we not speak to him?
Oh yeah, you can, because he's actually not in the trench. The trench, kind of like.
So I say,
he's
like...
pretty focused. Like he kind of ignored you, at least at first, because he's pretty focused and intent on the creatures down below.
I said, looks like looks like you have power over these velociraptors.
He turns to you and says, "Much safer with magic. You would have not liked to have seen what happened before we figured this out."
Who were the men, if you don't mind my asking?
Just prisoners.
Prisoners of who?
Of the merchant princes. They did something bad, and they had their chance. Almost got away too.
Okay, well, that was quite the show you put on there.
Thank you. I hope you won some money.
money.
Tell him he didn't, and then just keep following.
So Syndra kind of motions for you guys to. You guys walk through this tremendous gate. It's huge. The inside of the gate. It's more of an arch. There's not really a gate per se. So it's a large arch. Probably 60 feet. The opening's probably 60 feet high. Just really big.
Is it more of a golden arch or a golden arc?
Oh no.
No.
Denied.
And you can see up at the top of it, these plants and trees are growing on top of the arch, and foliage kind of draping over the top of the arch, and some long ivy and vines hanging all the way down to the ground. And you walk through the arch, and you see yet another crowd, and people seem to be really festive. And you're not really sure whether this is every day thing, special occurrence thing, but there's people lining the streets of this main thoroughfare that you've entered here, and you Syndra kind of motions you to keep moving, and you guys push your way through the crowd, head this direction, and let's go ahead and do a group dexterity check. Feel free to do either acrobatics. No, feel free to do acrobatics. Acrobatics check. We're missing.
Oh, Zigmundo.
Actually, we don't need you to do it, Nick. So just the four of you, because
Sorry.
You're flying.
No, we don't need you to do it because you're flying, right?
Oh, sweet! Thank you for allowing me to be flying. I was going to say that, but I didn't declare it, so I'm walking.
You said that earlier on.
You
I,
said
assu-
earlier.
I assume that you're just still flying from because
Until
you're flying
you say
earlier.
you've landed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Plus,
like,
you
I
did
really feel
fine.
like I feel like in general, unless specified, I'm flying where I can because Eriko would much rather be flying than walking
Sure.
whenever
Okay.
possible. So
Okay.
if I can make that
So
work with you, then that's fine.
so you feel a rumble, and it gets louder. Push to the crowd. Boosh, 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 boosh. So some of it's like a a constant rumble, but then there's a couple that are doosh, 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 doosh. And as you kind of break out of the crowd and start to walk into the street, Sindra kind of holds up her arm and wait, and you guys barely are able to just step back as all of a sudden 6 dinosaurs just tear past you. Some of these things are fucking huge. One has these 3 big spikes coming out of its forehead, right? One is lumbering by on 2 feet, but it's probably 25 feet tall. And they have people on their backs that are riding them, and they're being cheered on by everybody else as they tear past you towards the southwest. And as they go past, and as the last one passes, the crowd starts to collapse in behind them and follow them. And Sindra waves you on and says, "Oh, race day." You guys head northeast towards the Merchant's Ward.
I said, "Whoa!"
I'd like to ask her just
Race
as
day.
we're walking.
Where is race day? Where is betting? Where is betting on race day?
So did you fly down and do that?
I'm talking to Sandra. Yeah, I'm asking her that.
But you were like 30 feet up in the air right now.
So
Do you
have to
fly down to the
top.
ground?
Well, I'll swoop down to ask her about race day. Yeah, and then I'll get down. I'll fly down lower enough to kind of float by her, like hover by her, and ask her about race day, like where I'm within earshot of her. I'm kind of flying in front of her.
Okay. So she tells you that she's not exactly sure, but that Wakanga would know.
Oh, Wakanga, race day. Okay. And then I'll fly back up 30 feet.
I'd like to ask her, since I've never been here. I want to be amazed that there's no dinosaurs on my, continent, and how amazing these creatures are. Are they prolific in this area? What's kind of the deal with the dinosaurs? That's very intriguing.
What's the deal?
What's the deal with these dinosaurs?
Yeah. She tells you. She says.
I mean,
Yes. She says
we're in a
the
fossil
terror.
fuel.
She tells you, yes, the terrible lizards are all over this island. They've tamed some for pack animals, tamed others for steeds, but many still roam the jungles and are quite the hazard.
Is there anyone in this town that is an expert on these animals?
There's one of the merchant princes. One of the merchant princes raises the animals, I believe, to the southwest, but it's been many years since I've been in Port Nyanzaru, and I believe that merchant prince has since died, so his heir would now be in charge. So she basically doesn't know.
Air?
All right.
Air's not in charge of anything.
That's
All right,
all
so
I
you guys
got.
keep walking to the southeast, kind of around the corner here, and you still, as you're walking, you see huge, beautiful buildings, brightly colored. But as you get further, and as you get closer to this quarter, all of a sudden you see a lot more green, right? You see huge houses. It reminds you very much of the upper city in Baldur's Gate, where you just came from, where each of the houses has become much, much larger. Ostentatious even, right? You see servants, more servants than non-servants at this point, busily carrying things in and out of this quarter of the city, and Sindra kind of leads you in through yet another gate with more security and up some stairs. Again, you're really seeing servants and guards at this point. Very, very little of anybody else. Until eventually you make it to a large home that she tells you this belongs to Wakanga of Tamu. He is one of the merchant princes of this city. He can give us home. I will stay here. he will tell you where you may stay. It is wise to make him a friend. And so she raps on the door, somebody opens it, an attendant welcomes her inside, and she says, "Come, join me when you can."
And can you just remind us what she told us we should be expecting from this individual?
So all she told you about Wakanga is Nine Zaru. She mentioned as you guys walked along that he deals in magical items, that they've been friends for a long time. You got the impression they even did some adventuring together. And basically that was going to be where she'd be staying while she's in Port Nine Zaru.
Okay.
He can identify the cube, maybe too.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So I knock on the door.
Okay. So the same attendant reopens it and looks at you and says, "Yes? Are you are with Syndra, yes?
Yes, we've come to see Wakanda.
Okay, follow me."
I do.
Good job.
Was I?
Same.
So everybody,
I'll
Alright.
follow you.
I buy the pants. No.
what does Squawk do?
Squawk's gonna follow him, but he is still flying, so he does have kind of a sight up to what we're kind of going into.
Does he have sight beyond sight, though?
So they are going
Still
inside
flies
a building.
Through a door. that a person-
I'll just fly through the third floor window.
Dude, do you have X-ray vision?
No, I'm going where the sight is. Like, you know, I'm looking at this like it's a full.
They're going inside a building.
You have to go through a human-sized door.
I land and I walk through.
Okay, all right. So you walk into the building with everybody else.
X-ray vision would be sweet.
So you guys step into the home of Wakanga, and you notice that all along the walls there's magical flame, kind of about a foot below the ceiling, edging the walls, and it's casting light all across the interior of the hallways here. You see giant shields and swords, and the swords themselves are actually not attached to the walls; they're just floating against the walls, and kind of they move a little bit, they hover a little bit, but they're just floating there against the walls. And you see large wooden masks and some water fountains with water just coming up out of it automatically. It's pretty remarkable, pretty lush, and he leads you through the hallways off to a veranda out to the back, to a series of pools and fountains, where you see Syndra has already found a seat in a nice, comfortable, kind of reclining chair, and next to her is a dark gentleman with black hair, who is seated next to her, talking to her. Let me pull him up for you.
All
Oh,
these
source
spiders.
material, and this is fun.
So ostentatious.
Oh,
Ooh.
It's a little on the nose, isn't it?
500 yards of shit smelling.
Do we see
So-
any freckles on him there?
You don't see any freckles,
Okay, fair enough.
Ooh.
but
Steve goes in and finds the chair in the shadiest spot
okay.
and puts
All
his
right.
arm over his face.
All right. As soon as you sit down in that chair, a servant comes up to you with a huge leaf and kind of drapes the leaf over your head to shield the sun.
Okay, I sort of nod at him,
All right.
recognize him, you know.
So you all see Syndra say something to the gentleman next to her, and he turns around and smiles broadly at all of you and says, "Ah, welcome, friends of Syndra, our friends of Wakanga.
Thank you, Wakanga.
Syndra tells me you are going to search for the soul monster."
I'm sorry. The what now?
Yeah,
honestly
Troy,
didn't hear
your
you.
mic it's cutting out quite a bit. I'm
Keeps
sorry.
cutting out pretty hard.
Sorry.
That West Coast microphone action.
Let me check something real quick.
Yeah, all right, good. I'm glad. I thought it was my internet connection dipping, and I was like, shit, I gotta figure that out.
No, it's
all
just
been doing it the whole time, or-
nothing important had been cut out yet, and I feel like at some point we need to address
No,
this.
it's like maybe every couple minutes you'd start dipping out for a few seconds here and there.
Yeah.
Okay. How is it sounding right now?
Sounds good.
Fine.
now.
So let me know if it dips out again. So Wakanga says that Sindra has told him that you're planning to go deeper into Chult and look for the Soulmonger.
Probably. What can you tell us about that?
He says, I have very little to tell you about the Soulmonger, but I can help you with your excursion.
One other question, and I just sort of reach into my robe, pull it out, and show him. Do you know anything about this item?
He kind of squints and takes it from you and looks. You see him hold another hand up, and the fingertips start to light up with different colors, and they flicker between green and red and yellow. He says, would you leave this with me, and I can tell you more later?
Nope. And I take it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I let
Well, if you would be interested in selling it, you come tell Wakanga. I deal with many magical items.
I'm not interested in selling it. I would like to know more about it. If you can
I
direct someone that could explain that to us.
Steve Dark Magic. I telepathically message you that I can identify that given a little bit of time.
I didn't we already establish that you actually can't?
I don't know, did we?
I thought we tried that early on.
Troy, that'd be in your hands. I can't recall.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Okay, we'll try it when we're outside. We'll see what happens.
So Wakanga says, all right, well, if you change your mind, bring the cube back to me.
My guess
if you...
is that would take a pretty good roll for you to nail that.
Identifies just a straight binary.
Yeah, it's a
spell.
straight. It's like
Oh.
nationalism. It works.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Here, let me share that with you. Now that with my newfound, etc.
So I tell Wakanda, I was like, well, items aside, I think we're all dedicated here to the prospect of finding out what has happened with Death. Sindra here told us you'd be able to help us along.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so Wakanga says, yes, I'd be happy to help you. Not for free, of course, but we could figure something out.
Sindra told us she'd be covering our costs on this.
He looks over at Sindra, and she opens up her robe and pulls a sack of coin out, hands it over to Wakanda.
Coin sack out, huh?
Kind of feels it and kind of tosses it up in the air a few times.
That's how I like that.
This is a good start. Okay, with this, I will help you find a good guide that can show you through Chult. It is very dangerous land. They can teach you how to prepare and help to navigate.
It'd be much appreciated, sir. Thank you.
If you are looking to make some more coin, maybe we figure something out. I have many magical items here. Good place to spend your gold.
What type of items?
Yes, I also would like to know the items you possess.
Well, I have, of course, many potions, many scrolls. I recently found a interesting journal, an enchanted journal. Maybe belonged to wizard, maybe sorcerer, I do not know. But it was found deep inside of Chult in the jungles, brought back along the river. Maybe you would like to take a look, earn it?
Sure, how much are you asking?
For which? The potions, the scrolls, the journal?
The journal.
Well, I tell you this, because you're friends of Sendra, I will sell it to you for nothing. I will give it to you, but I need one favor. I need just a delivery. You do the delivery for me, you come back, I give you the journal.
Where you need it delivered?
He tells you that he sometimes enchants magical items for other merchants. And he asks you to deliver one of the items, a shield. It's an enchanted shield to Ekene Afa, who is down by the races.
I turn to the party and I ask how they feel about it.
Always nice to have enchanted journals, I guess. I mean, sure.
Would he allow me to inspect it before I agree?
He says, okay, you can take a look. And he motions for a servant to go get. A few minutes later, the servant comes back, has a huge oaken box, lifts the lid off, and you see a velvet-lined interior with a velvet pillow and an old ragged journal sitting on top of it. And he lifts in, pops the journal out, hands it over, and says, "Yeah, take a look."
So what? How can I inspect this? And what do I glean from the quick inspection?
Yeah, so go ahead and roll. And so what kind of inspection do you want to do? What do you want to do?
I probably want to do Arcana. Like, is that possible on this?
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's hope that my immense modifier on this actually works. Oh,
it didn't work at all.
So what you can tell is that there are kind of vestiges of magic kind of surrounding this. This appears to, as you kind of look on the outside, there are some light etchings of some runes. You believe that this likely belonged to a wizard.
okay. So I let the party know that, like, I am interested in this, but if they don't think it's worth it, we'll just move on. All right, I got one vote for in.
Fine.
Why must we deliver the shield for you? Surely you can find a messenger to bring a shield from one place to the other.
Recto, you don't need to go anywhere. Can Hansy carry the shield?
Did I not just ask that guy the question?
Yeah. So you did. You asked the question, and yes, I could send a servant down to the races. Just thought maybe you would be looking to make some friends. You are friends of me because you are friends of Sendra. I think you meeting another merchant prince in this city would be very wise.
All right, so I
Get something done. It would be beneficial to you.
Oh, all right. So I telepathically message Steve Dark Magic, and I say to him that we'll take this, but what I would like to do is, as we approach the location for the drop off, we give it to Hansy, who then completes the task, and us from a distance watch to make sure it's safe. And if it is, we proceed forward.
I cast Charm Person on him and just say,
Wait, you're casting Charm Person on Wakanga?
yes.
Okay.
So he makes a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, so you weren't playing a magic wielder. So Charm Person, people will be able to tell that you're casting it. Right, because you were literally going to do it out loud and make motions when you do it. Like, people can tell, like, it's not like, you don't just think this thing. You, like...
I guess I am visually...
You literally, like, walk up to somebody and you go, I cast Charm...
Yeah, I guess I am actually doing this. Sorry, I apologize. That's not what I do. I'm sorry. I'm not used to playing that. You're absolutely right. That's my one mulligan for this character. Done.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you for clarifying that.
Okay. And then there's also, I would definitely read up on it, Nick, because any of the things like friendship, charm person, stuff like that, you should definitely read up on what happens after it expires.
Well, he did, to be fair, he did just post the text of what that spell is.
Charm person, they know what happened once you've done it.
Well, I think that's actually what the question is because when it says right there, when the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. I don't know if that means that if there was a spell, like, does it know that
Probably
I
means they're pissed.
It knows
Okay,
that you
now, I mean,
altered
we're just-
its
we're
mind
just-
to benefit you.
What do you think? Do you think if someone controlled you for what, like an hour, and you knew they did it?
Imagine
Would
if
you be pissed?
you roofied somebody, and then when the roofie wore off, they got an email telling them.
Okay, well that makes a lot.
That's
more
happened,
sense.
by the way.
That is actually extremely graphic and a wow extreme, and we do not endorse roofing people on the Sandlot stream.
Yeah,
Just want to say that.
interesting
But
analogy.
now that you say that, when the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. I also took it to mean that the creature knows that I charmed it, so therefore, like, it's still friendly with me.
No,
or
not
it
at all.
Knows
That's why I chose the roofie thing.
Okay, yeah, that's actually very, very positive. Like, I totally get. Like, I took the positive spin. Apparently, everyone except me thought the negative. So
Welcome to the world.
Like in the real world, we don't like it when you pharmaceutically alter of you. In
Okay.
in
Thank you for
Playrun,
saying-
they would feel very similarly about you magically, because it's
Okay,
not
thank you for clarifying that. That's my one mulligan for this.
You don't
Being a
even
magic
like it
caster.
when we try to non-magically convince you to do things.
Rick punches me.
Oh my.
All right. So,
Okay, so back to Steve Dark Magic and Zygmundo's conversation telepathically.
and so Recta, you had asked about why him, and he had responded to you.
Yeah,
Can Steve just
a
go
sil-
walk
I-
over and
my
grab
response
the
is
shield?
silence at this point.
I go walk over and grab the shield. I go, you guys hang out. Zig and I should be fine if you don't want to come.
Is there anything we need to know about who we're delivering this shield to?
He tells you, you're going to look for Ekene Alpha. Ekene Alpha is one of the merchant princes, a good friend. You will find her down by the start of the races, near the
Hey.
lighthouse.
Hey, Feathers, you wanted to know about the races, right? Looks like we're headed that way. You coming?
Little man, yes.
Alright.
Okay, so
He seems
Very
very
good.
charming.
Why
Where's
do we
the
keep
lighthouse?
bringing him along with us?
yeah, let me ping it for you. So, you guys are going down here.
Keep pinging. I gotta.
Yeah, keep hanging. I don't see. I'm looking at the whole
South,
set.
southeast.
South. South
Right,
of where we
change.
just was.
East side of the bay on the east
Yeah.
side of town.
Oh,
Gotcha.
that looks like fun. I definitely want to go down there. Yeah.
All right, gotcha. Okay,
I don't know
so,
why American Prince would be
it so
putting
far
it
looks
together with
like Steve
Rocky Dog.
Dark and Zygmundo are going to go do this.
And
Yeah.
Squawk.
Recto leaves, but he gives a look to Wakanda or whatever his name is.
Wakanga.
Wakanga.
Yeah, sorry, way different.
Alright.
Yeah, Meryl. Jesus. Yeah.
Wakanga sees your look and just smiles really big.
I don't smile.
Okay.
Okay.
So are you coming with us, Recto, or?
Yeah, I said he goes with them, but
Okay.
on his way
Is-
out. He,
Rolling.
Is Roland?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm going to. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So you guys, an attendant sees you out back to the. You guys kind of head back out down the steps to the
Okay.
gate.
All right. Troy, before we move too much further here, I want to inform the team of what Steve Dark Magic and I had as a telepathic conversation, which is, as we approach, we're giving the shield over to Hansi, who from afar will give it to the individual, and we will then assess on whether or not that person should be approached.
We don't have it on us, essentially. Hansi has.
acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but to be clear, he did hand over the shield before you guys left, or he had a
Yes.
servant do that.
Yes.
So you guys,
We
you guys
have the
have it
shield,
at
but
the group
Hansi now
master.
has it. Yes.
Yep. Okay, so Hansi's floating. He's barely, staying afloat, but carrying the shield with him. Then you guys walk down towards the bay. The attendant gave you directions on the way out. As you guys make it to this jetty, the jetty is just packed with people along the far sides of either side of the pier. But the center of the jetty is clear, right? And you can see the footprints along the light sand on the top of the jetty, and then down at the end you can see as they're getting another round of animals ready down here, and you see a great crowd of people at that end.
What kind of animals?
Right as a
Dinosaurs.
Ready for what? Do we know?
Yeah,
Racing! Oh my god!
This place is Dinotopia, in case if you ever read that book.
So do you guys make your way down?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, but through the crowd, not down the middle.
okay, well the crowd is like pretty, like it's not thick. Like it would be tough to force your way through the crowd. Like it's probably.
Would it be that tough? We're pretty hardy adventurers.
It's like it's pretty deep. It's kind of like you go to Disneyland and they're about to do the parade, and then the people are like packed on either side of the street along the parade. Like,
God, this sounds awful.
so all right, so
The
Recto
No, I'm
is
just joking.
stealthing.
Being at Disney.
So how do you plan to do this stealth, Recto? Are you like just blending in with the crowd? Is
Yeah,
that what
like
you're
just
planning
kind of walking along,
Assassin's Creed!
stopping like every few people, and like putting my elbows on the top of the jetty and like looking over and.
Okay.
You
So
know.
are you doing that as a solo thing, or are you trying to like do this with?
No, I'm staying behind the messenger. I'm staying way back, if possible, but close enough to where I can see what's happening, but way far back also.
I'm looking for someone collecting money.
Fair enough.
Okay, so where you are right now, you don't squawk. You don't see anybody collecting money.
Even if I'm 30 feet in the air?
All right, so if you fly, well, you weren't flying until you just said that. To be clear.
You do have to mention.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I fly up in the air, and I'm looking
Okay.
around for someone collecting money.
Okay. It looks like there's just a big mash of people down at this end of the jetty, just under the lighthouse, and you think you can't. It's tough to see from this distance. You think it looks like they might be exchanging money there. That's also where you can see some people kind of corralling the dinosaurs to get them ready for the next race.
Okay, I want to fly down that direction, and any money that I earned from tips from my performances the night before,
Mhm.
I want to bet on a two-legged. Like, what kind of dinosaurs can I bet on?
So there's quite a few, but you get down to the end and you land back down. He's actually giving out money. He's not accepting money.
Okay.
And you land and express interest in betting on the race, and he tells you, not quite yet. We are wrapping up the last race. Give us 10 minutes. We have to figure out the rider situation. One of our riders did not show.
Okay. All right. Okay. Ooh, can I be a rider? I'm just kidding. I don't want to be a rider. I'll fly up in the air.
Do it! Do it!
I cannot be an animal rider because my animal handling is horrible.
Because
well,
you're
we
an
have
animal.
somebody whose animal handling is top
I
notch.
know they should, but it is not me, and I cannot do it.
But you should goad them into it. Well, you probably wouldn't know about that, though, right?
I wouldn't. I'm still back at the end here.
No.
Did you say that in character that I cannot be a rider because my animal handling is
Really
terrible?
terrible. That would be contextually appropriate. Actually.
Yeah, it would be. It was like, I am an animal. I do not ride them.
No, that's not how you think of yourself, surely, as an animal.
Shut up, little man.
Okay. Feathers,
All right.
wait, however you want. Go shit on a
Okay.
statue. What?
So all right, so Squawk, you fly back to the rest of the.
I'm actually just hovering around. I'm just actually flying around in circles
Okay.
waiting for the money.
You're staying by the lighthouse.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we're unable to navigate our way up there through the crowd. Is essentially.
I mean, you could walk next to the crowd, but it's like the
But
crowd is like literally like jammed up against the jetty.
All right. Steve will jump over what I assume is the small wall up here near the land.
And walk
And,
along the rocks.
Try to navigate his way along the rocks. Yes.
Okay.
Hansy is riding him and helping him.
Okay. They can notice a bird. There's a. By the way, you guys walk around. You flying above the city. It's not an uncommon sight here.
All right, your mic's
Well,
going in
I'm
and
sorry,
out a
you
little
cut
too.
out for what's flying above the city?
So as you've walked through the city, you've noticed multiple Arakoa flying above,
Gotcha, okay.
and you've seen multiple Arakoa walking through the city. So a giant bird man flying and landing somewhere is not an uncommon occurrence here.
It's
Fair
fine.
It would be in like Neverwinter or Waterdeep.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
I
so
assume
Steve, you're
I'm
walking
okay
along-
on the rocks.
If you take it slow and easy, you'll be okay.
I'm taking it slow and easy. 10 minutes to the next race. I think,
Okay. And Hansi is following you with the shield.
Correct.
Okay. And Roland and Zygmundo, what are you guys doing?
I thought Hansi was out front, but
Right now, he's hand in hand with Steve.
right. I mean, I'm still following through the crowd. Like, my goal is to like find this guy who Hansi's gonna make the drop off with.
Okay. So you're walking on the inside of the you're basically walking down the middle of the jetty almost, out probably on the outer edge of it as much as you can with the crowd. Steve and Hansi are walking along the rocks on the other side of the fence of the jetty, of the wall.
Not noticeable at all.
Roland, what are you doing?
One of us is invisible.
So my
Except carrying a shield that's not invisible.
No,
that's just
things
floating above you.
Things he carry aren't invisible.
Oh, okay, all right, fine.
So I'm most curious in whatever animal, because I know this is something I've seen it already once. They're using these animals. I want to know more about these animals. So, do I feel like with the crowd there, does it look like something I can walk towards these animals, or is
Yeah,
or
they're
does it
all
look
down.
like a race is imminent that I should be waiting here for the horses or whatever these are to come to me?
It does not look imminent as best as you can
Okay.
tell.
All right.
But they are all down.
Down at the end there.
Yeah, down.
I'd like to head down there. I want to
Good
see whatever
Lord.
animal this is.
That's a long description.
Okay, so
Do you
so
cast
I'll
that?
say Zygmundo and Roland, you guys start to
No,
walk
sorry.
down. Steve and Hansi are on the outside of the jetty wall.
Hang on, I'm still reading through Phantasm Force here.
Don't worry about it. Sorry, I wanted to read it here myself. Don't worry about this.
Okay. How close do you guys want to get to the end before you do the Hansi thing?
I mean, like, I would hope that Hansi's a good 20 or 30 feet out in front of us already.
I would like to be, Hansi and I would both like to be within hearing distance, but not necessarily in the attention of the person we're looking to talk to.
Okay. So you get down to, let's say you guys are all around here-ish, and
Yeah,
now
that feels good.
you're basically at the big crush. Like there's you see multiple great big beasts. You see a ton of people. There's probably 100 people down at this end of the jetty. Different factions. They're all kind of talking, and some are shouting. Some are starting to pull money out. But you don't actually know what you know the name of the person, but that's about it.
I telepathically communicate to Zig that I will wait for his signal.
What, and I ask him, what signal would that be?
Just telepathically message me like we do frequently.
I telepathically message him back.
Like we're doing right this minute. We're the only
All right,
people
so
who can do this
we have a
two
description of the
ways.
guy we're looking for, right?
So you just know the name. You were given the name.
Okay, so from in the crowd, at no particular, I shout his name and then duck down, hoping to see somebody turn around.
All right. You shout out Kenny Alpha and then duck down. And so you now can't really see anything.
Oh, Hansi's there. Hansi knows that he's got to look for the guy that turns around, right? Like so I'm like,
Fine. So Hansi sees a cluster of people start to look around.
well, that's not helpful, Hansi. Figure out the one who it is.
Angie stays with me. He saw that but hadn't communicated it to either me or you.
Well, shit.
I mean,
okay, so I see a couple people looking around. So I again. I yell out the name. I yell louder this time.
Okay. And so again, a cluster of people turn around, and this time.
Oh, I'm sorry, you broke up. This time what?
Roll perception. Anybody who's looking at this cluster.
Alright, so I'm gonna roll perception.
I'm over by the animals, trying to get to that. So
Anybody who knows to look, right? If your character would know to look, right? Okay. So
With
all of you,
disadvantage.
so it's both Zig and Hiller,
Handsy.
and so Recto, are you
And
down?
Birdman.
Are you down at this end, or are you staying up at the northern end?
So the goal was to stay, roughly 30-ish feet behind the
Okay.
the point man.
Okay,
Molly
so,
Fools.
so you're all generally down here-ish. So you guys look as Zigmundo shouts for Ekene Alpha, and you see the cluster of people start to look around again, and this time a little bit more worried. And you notice that most of them appear to be guards of some sort. Like they're armed.
Waiting on you, Zig.
Oh, okay, we're looking for me. Okay, so
It's your game.
so obviously I'm looking for the one in the center of the guards who is not a guard. And can I tell which one that is?
So I think unless you get closer, so this would be an investigate, and I would say investigate with disadvantage, or you can get closer to get rid of the disadvantage.
So I don't have because I have an older character sheet, I'm going to do investigate twice. Is that all right?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, no, it did it.
There you go. All right, with advantage. Okay, so you do see somebody who is very clearly different from the rest within that little cluster of people. It's a woman, and she's wearing much more regal clothes. The rest of the guards are wearing more like light armor and workmanlike things, and she's wearing a black and orange striped tunic.
All right, so
with
I
some
telepathically
gold
message Hansy,
jewelry.
and I identify that individual to Hansy, and I let him know that he should give the message that this is a delivery on behalf of, with all the proper context surrounding it.
Can Hansy talk to people?
Oh yeah, actually, Chris, what's up with that?
It's not explicitly stated that Hansy can communicate. However, Steve can. So, Hansy, having received Sigmundo's message, will communicate that to Steve. Steve will, in accordance with Sigmundo's wishes, direct Hansy to bring the shield to Akene, and then, still on the other side of the wall, so probably unseen. I can roll.
It says he speaks common, by the way.
Right. So,
Hansy.
even though Steve's, Hansy does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then Hansy will instruct her that we have a delivery from Wakanga here for you, with his compliments.
All right. So Hansy flies in with the shield, materializes, as he drops invisibility, right next to Akene Alpha, who turns around very surprised, but then her eyes kind of brighten when she sees the shield. The guards, though, are not super pleased, and they kind of hold up their weapons. A couple of them have spears, a couple of them have cutlasses, and start to close in on Hansy. She kind of motions. She motions for the guards to wait.
Okay. Hansy slowly puts the shield down in front of her, and then backs away and gives no motion of aggression whatsoever.
So she motions to one of her attendants next to her and holds out a box. She kind of pulls open the box, reaches in, pulls out a sack of coin, and says, "Tell Wakanga I said thank you, and he can come for his coin when he is ready."
Hansy bows.
Picks up the shield and hands it to one of the guards.
Hansy bows and then puts out his hands for the coin.
And she smiles and says, I will seek Wakanga when he is ready. And hands the coin back to the attendant with the box.
Okay.
Hansy backs away and then flies off towards Steve eventually.
All right. So I kind of message the party and everything, and I think that she doesn't seem to be any sort of particular threat, and that it would be okay if we were to approach. And I'm looking for feedback.
Steve suggests that people that travel with a massive entourage bodyguard are probably at least a little bit threatening. Also,
Rest of the party. Input, please.
Also, is our mission not accomplished?
Yeah, we weren't told to collect any payment. We were just told to deliver.
Deliver
I'm
only.
not even paying attention. I just go, huh?
Yep.
Try to find these animals.
Seems fine to me. We delivered the shield.
I feel like we should make some sort of contact. That's the problem. Like obviously this guy was like, whether he was trying to pull one over on us or
Make
not,
contact.
was like, hey, you should go talk to some people.
Steve thinks that's his problem. That he should have been more.
Are we within speaking distance of each other at this point? Like,
I would say so. I mean, I'm right next to
Steve-
Steve Darkmagic.
Well, Steve and Zygmundo can always talk as long as they can.
And Roland's right next to Zygmundo.
Right. So,
And I'm flying around.
in the city, Zig, people need to be very specific about what they mean and what they don't mean. We were told to deliver. We did. Our job is done, to my thinking.
All right. Can I just get a quick aside? Like, so my character is generally suspicious of individuals, but like I feel at this point like that suspicion is at like a 50%, whereas before it was like a 95.
It's up to you what you do. You asked for opinions.
Yeah, but you see, okay, all right, fine. And so I'm getting one very strong no, and then Roland, where are you at?
So Hansy has flown back and is with you now, Steve. Steve.
He flew up, turning invisible as he went, and then flew back to me.
Okay.
I'm now moving back along the rocks towards the shore.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not a one to cause havoc unless I feel strongly about it, so I follow back to the crowd.
Yeah, he'd probably be madder at us if we killed a bunch of people rather than asking first, given other direction.
Okay. Roland, what are you doing?
I'd like to know that in this crowd, am I going to be able to see something? Because I'm seeing people. I have noticed they're starting to back up. I really badly want to see what this animal is, but I don't want to be left out here alone.
So you can see some of the animals, but not terribly well from where you are. Because there are a lot of people. If you want to get closer, you could get closer and get a good look at them. There's nothing. There's nobody really that's there to stop you from getting relatively close.
I'll just have to say fuck and back up because I don't want to be left out here because I don't even necessarily know my way back in this area. But keenly aware that I want to try to get my eyes on sight of something. But I've already seen two instances of races going on the first day, so.
Yeah. Okay. So are you guys all heading back up north on the jetty?
Yeah, I assume we're gonna go back up and back to where our side quests are.
Okay. And is Squawk following them?
Just a quick question. What's the story with that chain across from the end of it to the, is that a dock control point?
It is a chain.
Across the bay.
All right, good job.
Got it. Okay. Just wanted to
You
clarify.
identify it as a chain.
Well, dock security measures, given the fact that there's a giant silver-eating tortoise outside, might be good for us to know what they are.
and ISIS.
Also that.
So you'd want to.
You
You'd
want
have to ask around to find out.
No, I can see a chain.
I know. Yes, you can see the chain. It is a chain.
Okay.
That's what you can see. If you want to know why it's there, you'll have to look around.
Because of the tortoise, I assume.
Maybe. Okay, so you guys make your way back along the jetty. I assume.
All right, back to Wakanga's house, I think.
Back to Wakanga.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys start to make your way back up to the merchant quarter.
Yeah, Troy, you're dropping out.
I said you guys make your way back towards Wakanga's house, and that is where.
What?
The exact point.
We're
That's where
done.
we'll end up.
That's where we ended for the evening. Okay, great.
All
Awesome.
right, session 0 accomplished. Pretty decent,
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot to sink in. I feel like I'm gonna have to take my own personal notes as we keep playing through.
Yeah, a lot of setup in that one, for
There's
sure.
a lot to
Mhm.
know, for sure. And I definitely want Roland to be able to turn into any manner of dinosaur for the future.
Yeah, I didn't know how to play that out because I didn't know like how much time. Like if I sit there and am I trying to push in to
Well,
see these things, if
yeah,
I turn
we
around,
all-
everybody's just fucking gone.
Do you just have to see them
No, I don't know what I have to do.
to like
Honestly, at this point, no.
You should probably figure that out.
Yeah, we should.
But it
look
has
at-
not been. Yeah, I know. That's kind of that'll be part of things.
If you just need to see him, we saw him during the
It
raid.
has not been ruled
So
out.
you
but I
don't
think
know
it's
what
gotta
is
be a little more
required for
than
you to
just-
turn into an animal?
Not for
So-
a dinosaur.
So you basically
It's
need
kind
to, well, so you need to see them and like see them well, right? Like you need to be able to observe them,
Yeah.
and then you've got the rules around challenge rating.
In their natural habitat.
That sounds like a good off-time activity for you, because being a dinosaur would be very sweet.
Well, it's a level dependent thing too, so it's kind of just something I'm
Well,
working towards.
figure out what we need for you to be a T-Rex.